Hello.
Hey everyone!
Hello! Hi guys! Welcome
Happy holidays!
to Dice Tales Holiday Special.
Woo!
I mean, it's just like it always is, but we're special
We're wearing
holiday
festive
attire.
sweaters.
We're so festive. We are ready to celebrate.
Mine's just a sweater.
Mine's a
it's,
great sweater.
it's a nice look. It looks good.
Sweater and it's Christmas.
Yeah.
It's true. Well, welcome
Super
to
cute.
session 32. We have the road to Waterdeep and our travel adventure coming up here as the players have reached level 11.
Oh,
So mature and
So
strong
many
and
spells.
Big day.
double digits over
Yeah.
here. They've been working hard on getting their characters leveled up and ready to go. We do have a little recap that we're going to get to, but before we do that, let us get talking about our sponsors and friends. Right? Let's do that.
We can,
All right.
we can do that. Hi guys, I'm
Brad.
Brad,
Hey,
and
Brad.
Hi, Brad.
I can't talk. That's not a good sign. I'm once again tasked with talking about our sponsors. And if you joined us last month, you heard about the wonderful holiday album that we're releasing, A Very Sponsor Christmas. And this album includes such favorites as Oh Sirenscape, how useful are your soundtracks? You set the tone for glee or fright in darkest day or bleakest fight. Oh Sirenscape, how useful are your soundtracks? Or the ones that all the kids can sing along to.
No. Oh my god.
Dashing through the snow to game night I am bound, all my stuff in tow, zipped up safe and sound, minis, dice, and notes, all secure in place, a gaming I will go, thanks to Character Case. Oh, Character Case, get one for they're gone, they hold your gear and bring good cheer, get yours on Amazon.
Hey everyone!
Finally, one that is near and dear to my heart. Deck the halls with gaming paper, fa la 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 la. Map out combat for your players, fa la 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 la. Play your game on dry erase tiles, fa la 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 la. Or paper rolls that go for miles, fa la 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 la. Seriously though, a big special thank you to
Glorious.
our sponsors, Sirenscape, for the sounds that you will hear not made by us tonight. Character Case, who has provided us with these lovely blue cases. You can see mine on the bookshelf behind me on camera there. Make it very easy to take all of your gaming stuff with you when you can safely game in person with your friends again. And Gaming Paper, who not only has great map making materials for your games, dry erase tiles, paper rolls, they also do holiday gift wrap. It might be a little late, seeing that Christmas is only 6 days away, but definitely something to check out at gamingpaper.com. And then we do have, a handful of other albums, songs included on that album. All I Want for Christmas is +2 AC. Grandma Got Run Over by an Owl Bear. I'm Dreaming of a White Dragon. And my favorite, I Saw Mommy Kissing Xanathar.
Very nice. Very nice.
Check them
Brad,
out.
real quick, you were talking so fast. That high note though. That high note. Brad.
I'm a tenor.
Well done.
Brad, I resent the implication that it's too late to be buying Christmas presents.
I'm
Not for
up
me,
one
but
person. My
depends on- we have
infant nephew
others,
is the
yeah.
only person I am done shopping for.
this one is my favorite of the wrapping paper from Gaming Paper because it's Cthulhu.
Yes.
Yes. Not just
It's
for
awesome.
D&D or Pathfinder
Great for the
anymore.
high
All
holidays
Cthulhu.
and, your eldritch friends.
I can feel my sanity being tested as we speak.
Dude.
Another thank you out to our artist friends who provide us character art that we love. You can see the little characters in the corner there, and we've got little portrait art by TJ Corbett. Yep, there you go, Brad. That's the right direction. Just like that. We've also got art by Barb Williams that we feature on the show.
Woo!
And Isaac Wilson has provided sprite art to use with Roll20 for us. We love our new sprites. You can see them on our Facebook page, full size. not tiny. It's really hard to make out Leith because he's very small on the
He's
map.
very little. He's just a
He's
little
very,
guy.
Just a
very
little guy.
tiny
He's
guy.
just a little guy.
If you're new to the show or you just want to relive stuff because it's been so long, don't forget you can check out our podcast everywhere podcasts be. So Spotify, Apple, whatever your podcast place of interest lies. And you can also start to find these on Twitch for a little while afterwards, and then they go on our YouTube channel. So you can follow our adventures even if you're busy on Saturday night. Though why would you be when you could be watching Dice Tales?
Going.
Exactly.
Wow, you're
There are more
so
important
right.
things to do.
Especially right now. Where are you going to be? The bar? Shut up.
Right.
Yeah. There's no excuses, really. And if you have
No
some,
excuses.
shame on you.
No excuses.
Now, we don't just do this because we've got nowhere to go and all the bars are closed.
Though it is a key part.
We also do it.
because of that.
We also do it to raise money for organizations near and dear to us. So you can see there's a link up at the top of the screen that is a donation link for Dog Story Theater. So we are still sad to have lost Dog Story earlier this year, but the spirit of Dog Story lives on, like the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future all at once. And we are trying to create a little donation bank of money that can go towards rehoming Dog Story eventually. So
Rehoming.
rehoming.
I like it.
That's awesome.
So-
Rehome dog story hashtag.
They're going to
If you
steal
are
that
somebody-
as their new fundraising slogan.
If you are somebody
In the
who
arms
loved-
of an
Stop
angel.
loves Dog Story as much as we do, or just likes our show and thinks this is funny, we would really appreciate any donations that go to Dog Story. They do not go to us. All right. One final reminder, because it ended up being important last time we played. If you are someone who donated to the Dog Story fundraiser and got an action point that allows for a reroll of anything that our players roll or I roll, then don't forget you can use that by shouting it into the chat, like in all caps, so we don't miss it. That saved Ross's life last time. I'm pretty
I was
sure.
going to say, it could save the life of a player
It
character.
literally did. The first
This
time it was
isn't-
used.
Yeah.
It was
difference.
Tier in game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This
Ian,
isn't
Ian
your
was
first
the
time
hand
watching
of
our
Tyr.
show. I roll a
Mhm.
lot of ones. I'm already a werewolf with 2 heads. Like, stop more bad things from happening.
Or make more bad things happen. That's just another option. I'm just putting it out there.
Oh, dare you. It's Christmas.
It's Christmas.
It's Christmas.
Put a little Santa
Hey,
hat on him.
Ebenezer, how about you freaking start the game? No, just kidding.
All right, fine. Does anyone else have any announcements before we get into the recap?
I do not.
Cool. All right. Well, let's roll it. Here's our recap.
Having successfully halted the attempts of the Shadowvar Prince, Brennus Tanthal, from conducting a ritual in the lost city of Mithranor, the Children of Destiny now carry precious cargo, the mystical seed they stole to stop the Second Sundering. Understanding the danger should it fall back into Tanthal's hands, and, no doubt, with the Shadowvar on their heels to regain it, they have decided to make the long trek to the city of Waterdeep, where Beyonce's order awaits. A dangerous journey now stands ahead of them as they grapple with all they have learned about the Shadowvar's plans and the fallout of the chaotic wild magic of Mithranor. And that's where we pick up the adventure tonight on Dice Tales.
And we're back.
All right.
And we're back.
We're back.
With that, we are beginning our session 32, The Road to Waterdeep. So, somehow you all got out alive, some for better or worse, perhaps, from the wild magic shenanigans that ensued. But as you returned to the Temple of Misra, you are greeted by your horses that you guys had left behind.
Oh, Barney!
Mine's name was Noble Silver. I looked it up.
Has Elderbeard been like watching them for us or something?
Perhaps, though, you see no sign of your tree friend now.
Darn.
I mean, there are trees everywhere, but none of them seem to be
Not our
moving.
tree
knocking
friends.
on me.
Like, hello? Hello?
Weird. No.
Knock, knock, knock. No,
Probably
it's
better
not
he's not
him.
around. I didn't prepare any.
They
trees.
are tied up here, but they don't appear worse for the wear. They don't look like they've been starving or anything like that. So,
Oh, excellent.
Oh.
They've just been
I
swallowing
scritch
flies.
Noble Silver on his nose and I give him affirming comments and I hop on.
This will definitely make our travels easier.
Yeah, I'm gonna go, like, I'm all bleeding and scraped and dented, and I'm just gonna give my zebra horse a quick scritch behind the ear and a nuzzle.
gives a
I
loving
will
little toss of
Go
its
up and pet
head.
Matilda.
Clearly happy to see
You're
you.
almost as fabulous as me.
Almost.
I go up to Barty and I kind of like give him a pet on the fur, and then I reach into my pocket and I pull out a Werther's Original. And I say, "Here you go, boy. Have yourself a sweet."
Seamus, I
going-
didn't think that
Seamus
is
like
good
almost
for
like
him.
misses as he pets him because he's still blind and it's really
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
and you would feel
That's
you would
right.
feel the horse's mouth like scrabbling at your hand and like sniffing at it, and its tongue coming out on the candy, trying to decide if that's something that it wants or not. But in the end, it seems that old Barney does want the caramel, so he takes it.
And I kind of turn, looking around, and say, Beyond, I have just remembered that I am blind.
Yes, you are indeed blind. We discussed this.
Would you be able to help me with this sometime soon, maybe?
Tomorrow after morning prayers.
All right, I get that you are on a schedule, and also I shall
Yes, it's-
wait till then.
He only really does that once a
Needs to
day.
plan
I
ahead,
can't
you
really.
know.
He's busy.
Yes, I shall just.
God stuff.
I shall work on my my fighting without the aid of sight for now.
Yes, I was a. For now, and I like just kind of help him, like find a spot to sit or something.
Are we going to
Just
go
help my
on
old man.
tonight, or are we staying here?
Don't
time
want
of
to
day
stay
is it?
here.
It is at this point later in the day, and Merrick would look around and he'd say, "The problem is they're going to come looking for us shortly."
Yes, though we need to put some distance between them and us.
How far is the temple from Mr. Nor?
Not crazy far.
It's not crazy far, no. You guys have not traveled too far to get here.
That's what
at
Merrick
this
says.
point.
It's not crazy far.
I can ride with Seamus, and we could probably try and put another hour or two before we lose the light.
So,
Ride through the night. We can't stay here.
well, if we do not take a rest, then Beyonce cannot fix Seamus's sight in the morning.
Seamus.
Right, Seamus? Right, Beyonce?
Yes, I didn't prepare the proper spells.
And Merrick
We
would
all
be
use our
blind
rest.
for 2
We're
days. We'll be
looking pretty
fine.
rough.
he'd
Do
look
what-
out through the woods and he'd look back at Beyonce and say, "Beyonce, do you have any healing magics left?"
I do. I can. Now, quick thing. Do we level up after we rest?
Your level, you will get the hit points that you got from leveling, and you can have those, but you are still down any hit point damage that you took previously.
Correct.
So if you
but,
got 8 more, then you will have those 8 right now.
Okay. Well, then I have 2 more channel energies. So I am going to pop one of those. Everybody gather around, gather around.
Huddle
And I'm
up.
going to.
Phyllis just stays back, leaning against a tree.
Oh, oh my god.
Katya, however, comes close.
6.
The holy light that issues from beyond the sea, Cass's channel, brightens the darkness of this forest area with the temple considerably, and that too seems to make Merrick a little nervous, but he also seems to think it's for the best that you guys get slightly better shape before you take off.
Maybe I should save. I have one more, but maybe I should save it for after we get a little distance in between us.
I've also got the Wand of Cure Wounds. If anybody's really hurting, I can use a couple charges of that to spruce you up a bit.
Are we sure that we're not in the freaky deaky wild magic thing anymore? Because I don't want to puke out a statue.
Well, you just channeled energy and it worked
That
fine.
worked in there.
We used magic when we fought people here in this temple, and it seemed
Did.
fine.
And Merrick would say it's just within the grounds of the ruins itself. Here, it should not extend.
So
All right.
How many hit points was that, Ross?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. That's important, isn't it? 10, 15, 16, 18 hit points to any who want it.
Oh.
Yeah, very nice.
I say again, as these guys appear to be doing math in their heads or something, I say, I really, really think we should ride through the night. Seamus can be blind for 2 days. It's better than all of us being dead. If they
This is
catch
true.
us, they will kill us.
Yes, but they will not know which way we have gone.
We do have at least one thing on our side. I have no doubt that a powerful caster, such as he seemed to be, would have access to some sort of magic scrying or to those who have it, but I don't think they're foolish enough to risk doing so in Metronor, where the casting of spells could clearly fall back on their heads. If he was willing to use magic there, he would have done so. He wouldn't have let us go and succeed. It will take them a little time to get out to somewhere where they might try it, but we need to be cautious. Once we've decided on our route, perhaps we should not speak very much of it in case someone eavesdrops.
That is a
I
good
think
plan.
this is wise.
Does anyone have any sort of spell that can detect magic around us? Can detect the sort of presence that might be spying on us magically?
I
can
do
detect
not.
magic, but I don't know if I'd necessarily see if somebody was scrying.
It might be more like, would something like see invisibility?
You could make a spellcraft check to see if you know what spell that would be.
Just kind of like
16.
compulsively checking the
Neither of
seed and
those
see if
are
it's
quite
still
enough.
glowing.
So neither of you have really dealt with scrying attempts very much in your life for any reason. So you have no reason to know. You're just guessing the best you can.
Jill is just kind of compulsively checking the seed and see if it's still glowing, and is just really trying to figure out like what it's made
Yeah,
of.
the
and
seed
just
is still gently glowing, still looking more crystalline than anything.
All right, shall we saddle up then and roll out? Because
Do we know
I'd
which
rather
way
not
they're
sit
going?
here and get caught again.
Merrick
we
says,
should-
as I see it, we have two options. There's a route that we could take that would involve some extended travel by horse over the mountains, and then perhaps we could catch a boat that will take us past Baldur's Gate and around. It might be wise for us to do that in that it would stick us through several cities. It might be more difficult for Brennus to cause problems hunting us down if we were able to lose ourselves through a crowd. The other option would be to go north, and the problem with that is that it would take us through a great tract of dangerous desert.
Huge fan of the desert sound of things. Kind of like where stuff's alive. And frankly, if we're passing through a town, there's some things we could probably all use. It's been a while since we've seen civilization.
I can also create water, so we won't have to be looking for oases and stuff like that.
I agree with Leith, though. I think traveling through a city would be wise.
Although my skin is kind of fragile to such sunlight.
We'll get you a parasol, Beyonce.
Really?
I really
would
just
love
need to
that.
invest in a larger suit of clothes, and you'll notice that Leith is like slowly mending all his clothes from when he wolfed out because he is a gnome.
I need a new axe, he says, pretty unhappily over here.
That is true. Your very nice axe went. So you should really keep better track of your things.
And he just kind of side-eyes Callista at the very pointed comment. And then after a moment, he actually smirks and says, "Well said."
I'm proud
You
of
feel
him.
in that
I don't
moment-
say
Here
anything.
that I never use.
You feel in that moment as if he's acknowledging that you're even for the time he chewed you out about the bow and misplacing the dangerous relic.
I love it.
You feel some of that anger of his. Okay.
I hop
All
on
right.
Noble Silver and I pat him on the neck and I'm like, we should go.
All right, then off we go. At that point,
Hop on.
I'll help Seamus over to his horse, help him get a foot in the stirrup so he can climb on, and then just have Seamus help me climb in front of him so I can steer since he's blind.
Do you not have your own mount?
Well,
No, 'cause
we could
I'm
also
little.
hold
Okay.
like the reins.
Well,
One of
but
us
if
could
Leith is
hold the
riding with him, we do
reins.
not need to do that.
Well, I rode on the back of Jill's horse to get here.
It makes sense to
Oh,
have Leith ride
oh,
with Seamus
perfect.
then.
My God,
You
Brad,
two
good
can snuggle.
remembering.
Barney's also well trained, so he'll just follow the group. He knows that something's up with old Seamus here.
all right. Well, with
can
that, you
sense
will begin to travel and on your path. And Merrick, as a ranger who has traveled through the woods many a time, takes point on the direction leads you all.
You're darn right he takes point. My God.
Seems to
Look
have
at
an
him being a
idea
leader.
of where he's going, at least. Okay, so as you travel along, is your plan then to travel throughout the entire night as darkness falls in the forest, or
That's
at
my
any
vote.
point to stop?
This is a democracy, which we've established that it is. That it is.
Is it
Yes,
is
yes,
it safe
yes.
to travel
We should-
by night?
Depends on if
Dangerous to
something
travel
attacks.
anytime.
It's more safe than sitting here and waiting for the Shadow Bar to get us, Seamus.
Sure, but Beyonce and I are both down a number of spells, and we're not going to be much good in a fight if they catch up to us before we get a chance to rest.
Oh, I
Seamus
still
cannot
have
see
plenty.
anything and is also not as much help in a fight.
I still have plenty of spells.
I still
I
got
learned my lesson.
I still got a few tricks up my sleeve, Callista. And he kind of looks like super confident, but like it's
But he's
you,
looking
maybe you're
at
not.
a rock.
He's talking over, like Callista's over
turns
here.
to
He's like,
Callista, but it's not.
"Let me tell you."
It does not do much to inspire confidence.
Closer rolls her eyes.
Jeremy, what do you think?
I thought we were not talking to him.
Talk to him.
Oops.
You want to know what I think? The head on your shoulder speaks in a complete sentence, which there have not been a lot of those yet. But he seems, as you've noticed, every time he speaks to becoming a little more eloquent than he maybe was in the first.
Barney.
The
Oh, we have to kill
Don't
it.
like this.
first
It's
few
even less
moments
now.
when he's routed from your head.
He's becoming sentient.
You wish to know what I think?
Only if
Let's
it's going to be
do it.
useful.
Why wouldn't it be useful?
Be nice to it, Leith. Him.
Now, what is
I
your
asked him his
opinion?
opinion.
Fine. Well, I think I think that we should go on, fight the fight.
Was so helpful.
See, here's the thing, though. We're running away right now. We're not.
Oh, I
Bad
wasn't
idea.
paying attention.
I do like your gusto, though.
See, I can still take a nap even when you're fighting to fight.
Good. Why don't you do that?
How about you steer for a while so I take a nap and get some of my spells back?
Can
Can
I
you
do
control your
that?
body?
And I guess make a wisdom check, please.
I look over at Leith while, and I just kind of like hold up my axe, and I'm like,
17?
17 for the briefest moment, Leith, you feel as if someone else is making an attempt to control your hand. Like it almost like twitches away.
Oh God.
But then you quickly
Next
shut
time.
that down
Uh-oh.
and it does not happen.
All right, that was a bad idea. We're not going to try that again.
Why not?
Because this is my body.
It's ours. I can help.
Ours.
You weren't invited to help.
Why did you bring me here?
Fate brought you
Ah,
together.
attached.
Jones, do you think there's any earmuffs?
I didn't ask to be born, okay?
Jones, do you think there's anything you'll
no.
be able to get rid of him?
So, like, just shut him up? You could gag him.
No, I mean, like, the way you're gonna fix Seamus, do you think you could fix this too?
I think the only way to fix that is shing.
As I'm, like, holding my hands over Jeremy's ears, can I feel that? Like, is there pain if I, like, squeeze too hard that Leith senses?
No.
There are a couple of things that I
When we
can
stop to
try.
rest, that might be a good idea.
I want to walk over and like kind of pull the shirt away from like where Jeremy attaches to Leith. I want to kind of look at the attachment point.
It's
like,
not.
can you
It's not pretty. Like it's out of his skin. It's not
Does
like
it look like
there's-
Frankenstein just like sewed?
No, there's nothing like sewed there. It's like literally protruding out of the skin of his neck, as if it's a natural growth or extension of him.
There's nothing natural about that.
No, but obviously there's nothing natural about this. It's a bizarre head that is sharing space with him. But as you are that close, Callista, suddenly he like turns and he winks at you.
Oh! She's very pretty.
I don't like Jeremy.
Baby.
Perhaps I should have asked before. Leith, is this okay?
No,
Why are you asking him if it's okay?
Because it's my shirt and my body.
And I want to start poking. I want to see if I can tell. Is there like a bone structure? Is there something inside of Jeremy that's attached like to Leith's shoulder bone, or like how is he attached?
That's a good
Have a
question.
spinal
Is it a
column.
spine off of his spine? That's a great question, Liv.
Why don't you make like a heal check, since this is like a medical knowledge understanding sort of thing?
Real good at that.
I feel like Callista's chopped off a head or two. She probably knows.
I'm sure she has.
18.
Okay, yeah, she's doing this with precise precision. Somebody who's studied anatomy, perhaps, or the skills that she once used in her assassin
Why?
profession. We don't know. But either way, the good news is that it's not as if Lee's spine splits and goes into two. In fact, it doesn't make any sense, because if he doesn't have any access to the nervous system, how could he have controlled anything about Leith? But it seems to just start there, and there's nothing going into it.
All right.
It seems at its essence to be completely magical in nature somehow, in a way that defies logic, defies science. There's something just magic about this head that's attached to him.
Is Leith still
Earmuffs.
covering Jeremy's ears? You're still covering his ears?
I'll go back to earmuffs. I
So
think when we at camp, I've got a spell that can put me and Jeremy into a very deep sleep, and then maybe some of you that are good with pointy things can. Jill, your axe work scares me a bit. You tend to miss a lot. So maybe like Liz, or I'm sorry, maybe
Like
Callista.
Liz!
Or,
Liz!
Get this shit!
Who's
Who's
The
Liz?
question is, though, is it alive?
So
I
here's
can't
the
feel
thing,
it,
It is
so
not
no.
actually.
Has it done anything wrong?
It does not, but it's some sort of parasite, magical parasite. It does not actually connect to Leith's skeletal structure. So I think it will be a relatively easy amputation. If it is truly alive, Beyonce, then when we cut it off, it will still live. Just not as part of Leith.
Are you sure?
No,
Just kind of this
but if
head
it does
that
not,
we
then
can...
it was not alive to begin with.
It
Well,
was born of evil
I
magic.
beg to
if
differ.
that
It is
helps.
sentient.
Just because it can string
There
a
are-
couple sentences together doesn't make it an intelligent creature.
There are also
And
sentient
Jeremy
multiple
speaks
objects.
up, even though he can't hear anything that's happening, and he says, "Are you all talking about me?"
No.
I lift one of Leith's hands off and I say, "We are just talking about how handsome you are, Jeremy." And then I put the hand back
Oh.
on.
And he does this little like you, which
Oh.
is disturbing in so many ways.
I'm going to regret having said that.
Yeah, probably.
I think somebody has a boyfriend.
Perhaps luckily at this point, it's
Isn't it
starting
boring?
to get so dark out that you guys can't make out much anymore of each other as you're traveling along. So
Yeah,
there's
can
that.
we see, like, how dark is it? Do we need...
It's quite dark. Are you using any source of light to continue?
I could cast light.
I mean, I have dark
I'll
vision.
cast dancing lights.
Okay,
Those
that might
can
be
just
a
travel.
little more subtle than a bright light spell might be.
So Leith will whisper something in Sylvan into the palm of his hand and then snap his fingers, and 4 orbs of light just emerge and sort of hover a little ways in front of the lead horse and then above each horse so everyone can kind of see.
Yeah, and it's quite beautiful. And in the forest here, it creates a lovely little glow. And Merrick needs that in order to be able to see, because he's human. So he can continue
I'm
to
also
lead.
going to ride up to the front by Merrick now, since I'm also pretty good at finding the way.
Side note, I'm also
And I
riding
wasn't
up there by Merrick. I haven't been really paid attention to a ton of this malarkey.
That's fine. And he will relate what the journey will have to be to you both in case for some reason anybody gets separated. He thinks it's a good idea for you to understand like what the route is that he's thinking of. So he would tell you that it'll be 6 days along the north ride, and that'll take us to Silverton. At that point, then we'll need to take 2 days along the Moonsea ride, which will bring us to the base of the mountains. Traveling over the storm horns might be difficult. It's not an easy path. It will probably require us to go on foot, bringing the horses with us instead of riding on them, which I'm estimating will take a couple of weeks to travel. Once we get over the mountains, we'll go through the city of Prosker, and then it's 2 days ride to Erebor, and then 7 days by long ship from there to Baldur's Gate, and there we can catch a galley. 3 days to Waterdeep.
It took me a really long time to get to you guys.
Apparently.
A really long time.
Jill shudders.
You know any
just
good
a
road
little
trip
bit.
songs?
Jill shudders just a little bit at the mention of Erebor.
Why don't we have
Besides
people
that-
make sense motive checks versus a bluff check from you, Jill? And you said you're trying to hide it.
Huff Hall, baby.
All right, what did you get, Carrie?
31.
Okay, did anyone beat a 31?
No, I didn't.
I got the
I
inverse
can't
of that.
possibly.
The 13.
Callista?
32.
No! Oh, God.
Oh,
you
good
Calista?
lord, you
Calista?
too! You
Haven't-
too!
Haven't been the end of Jill's perhaps need to sometimes get things off her chest. You're starting to notice her little eccentricities when she is hiding something or worried about something. You're starting to learn what her little tics are, and
Remind me
you
never to play
notice it
poker with
now.
you.
Yes, you can see the way she's trying to conceal her discomfort from everybody else, but how deep it runs in her at the mention of Erebor.
Does it seem different than her discomfort when we were talking about going to Waterdeep earlier?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say, like, how would you classify this one, Jill?
So, this one...
That one was more emotional
Yeah,
because it was
compared
about
to
her
what
family.
it was emotional. It's almost like the one that I'm feeling about Waterdeep is a little like curiosity. The one that I'm feeling about Erebor is unbridled fear,
Dread, maybe even.
dread. Yep.
So, Callista, you take note. Do you do anything about that in that moment?
Not right now. Nope.
Okay. So you continue through the night. No one stops for any reason.
Well, at some point I'd like, now that we have like lights and we've probably made a lot of headway, I'm gonna start casting like cure moderate wounds and stuff like that on people who are hurting.
I think you have enough healing spells left beyond that you can get everybody back up to full at that point.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of spell slots left.
And the morning light will begin to break, and despite going through the forest at night, nothing hassled you. You saw no signs of trouble, no signs of danger, just normal wildlife here and there, perhaps some nocturnal animals out and about, but nothing dangerous that came your way. And you did in fact break through to the road and are now traveling along the road at this point.
I want to ride close to Beyonce, and I want to just kind of like, sort of quietly, I just want to be like, hey, it's not urgent. It's certainly not as urgent as Seamus's, eyes. And then I kind of like pull my sleeve back and I show him where I still have those frickin' bracers of immobility on me that are like stuck on me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you don't like those?
No, I really, really don't. They kind of pinch and they're stuck on me. So I don't know if there is anything you can do, but if there is, I'd appreciate it.
Well, I just kind of dumped my whole stuff.
Like I said, it's not urgent, but
yeah, so
save me one tomorrow.
I should be able to try a few things tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right.
And he is just tired. He is so tired.
It is exhausting to ride through the night. As
I would
you
normally
all have.
rib him, but I'm tired too.
Leith is just.
And you are all dealing with fatigue at this point in time from riding overnight.
How are the horses doing?
The horses are also starting to get there, but they didn't fight the whole day before then, so they're still hanging in. You guys had fought a long, hard battle before then riding through the whole night, so at this point everybody would be facing fatigue.
What are the effects of fatigue again? Just for, I don't know, our audience, because of course I know.
Let me pull them up so that I say it right. Hold on.
Thanks.
You can not run or charge, and you have a -2 to strength and dexterity. You need 8 hours of rest to get over that, unless you have something magical to get over it.
That's to our modifier, -2 to our strength and dex modifier?
No, to your ability score, so -1
So it's
to the mod.
-1 to our mod.
Yep.
Oh.
Right.
Well,
I am so tired, everyone. I think we've made enough headway.
I think we need
Merrick would nod, and he would say, I think so too.
We cannot risk killing the horses.
Let's
We
find a
need
place to set up camp.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yes, I'm rather tired and still blind.
Yes, we'll take care of that in, well,
Thank you for
whenever we
reminding us,
sleep.
Seamus.
It seems like
Night.
we're gonna sleep away the day today.
Well, it shouldn't bother me too much while I'm asleep.
At
This is
this
true.
point, it's about like 6 in the morning, so if you got 8 hours of sleep, there'd still be plenty of day left.
True.
All right. So who
I guess
is
there's
going
no
to
need to make
figure
a
out
fire.
where to set up camp? Because you are on the road right now, so I assume you guys are going to go off-road to find somewhere to camp. What are you thinking? Who is looking for a campsite? What are you looking for in a campsite?
I could scout for a campsite.
I can
Okay.
go with her. I'm
tag
gonna
along.
aid. What is
Okay,
your...
so the main shot can be Callista's for survival, and then you can roll to aid, Jill. Are you aiding, Leith, or are you just like going along for the ride?
I'm just going along for the ride.
Okay.
It is survival, right?
Yep.
21.
All right, you find
28
a very nice clearing, like off that's still kind of wooded area, but it's somewhere it gives you a visual like on the road, but people going on the road won't be able to see you because of a copse of trees that's there. You think it will hide you pretty well once you get set up. Okay?
But yeah. I follow her over there and I'm like, yeah, this looks good. And I
Looks as
kinda
good as any.
I just start chopping down like a couple shrubs, bushes, just to create just a very, very small clearing where we can set up like bedrolls and stuff.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Down bushes and shrubs and stuff to, lay down bedrolls.
Oh. Sure. I mean, if you want to sleep out here.
We're going to sleep.
Have another option.
What do you mean?
Leith,
We're
what are
gonna
you talking about?
No,
Sleeping in
just
the woods.
you do your thing. That's fine. Whatever.
Leith.
Eric
What did you,
side-eyeing
where else
you.
would we sleep?
Leith is just gonna kind of shoulder his pack and walk over to one of the larger trees in the area and just kind of watch as you guys begin to set up camp. And dragging a hand along the trunk of the tree, he'll just circle around it twice while muttering something in Sylvan. And as he completes the second circle around the tree, he's going to step back, and this tree sort of starts to grow. And like out of the root structure, pulling up from the earth, is just a small cottage. There's a simple wooden door, 2 round windows. You can see like a hollow higher up in the tree becomes a slight chimney. And as you guys are kind of laying out your bedrolls and things, Leith is just going to open the door and go inside.
Beyonce's gonna.
You know who lives there? What is this place?
Merrick kind of leans over to Jill. And he's
Beyonce is gonna start sprinting over.
And then Seamus goes, What's going on? Are we fighting? What's going on?
I'll walk over and kind of put my hand on Seamus's arm. No, Leith has made some sort of... Well, I don't know if he made it or found it. There's a cottage in the tree over there. And he went inside, so perhaps he knows the person who lives there.
What?
I do not
And
know
he'll
him
stick his
like
head out
that.
the door after Beyonce steps inside and he'll go, you guys can sleep in here if you'd like. It's a lot cozier than the ground.
He looks in, and Beyonce's just like, "Oh, Leith, you magnificent little being!" Mwah! Kiss him up.
So as you guys step inside the cabin, you will see that there are 8 simple bunks that have appeared kind of in the corner along one wall. There's a large fireplace. There's nothing in the fireplace at the moment.
lost Carrie.
You did.
Uh-oh. Whose camera went out?
It's Carrie. We lost
We
Carrie.
lost
a moment.
Carrie.
Oh no.
Sorry, folks. Technical difficulties. We'll be
Technical
back with you in
difficulties.
just a moment.
Means I
Think
should
she's
stop
back.
my camera too, right?
Nope, you're good.
Yep, everybody leave.
Just stay on. We can just go to the Dice Tales title card a second.
So while
Hang
we're
in
fixing
there,
that,
everyone.
I will describe Leith's cottage.
There we go.
Do it.
So inside the cabin, there's 8 simple bunk beds, kind of in an L shape in one corner of the room. And the frames of the bed appear to have kind of like grown out of the root structure of the tree. So there's mattresses on them, but the wooden frame is sort of all gnarled and has sort of that rough-hewn wood flavor to it. The fireplace mantle is just sort of like a tree trunk that grows together and has a hollow underneath where the fire can be set. That goes all the way up into the chimney. Above that, hanging above the fireplace, is a very ornate wall clock. It has leaves and branches and very intricate scroll work, and just quietly ticking away as it goes through. There's also a table with 8 stools around it, again seeming to have grown right out of the ground, has a very natural look and almost like this table was grown and not crafted feel to it. And a writing desk over in the corner. And Leith will just
Nice.
jump over to his bunk and kick his feet up and lay down. Oh, there's no place like home.
This is incredible, Leith.
I'll lead Seamus in.
He'll probably want the bottom bunk.
Yeah, maybe don't make him climb a ladder right now.
Leith, whose house is this?
Oh, it's mine.
Is it magical? I mean, is it like it travels with you, or it is always here?
It's something that I can make grow out of, the stuff that we've got lying around.
She's back.
Hey, we got Carrie back.
Sorry, guys.
It's
I
okay.
get so mad at people for exactly this thing. I'm the worst. I apologize.
Anyway,
I'm
Technical difficulties.
We're
It's all right.
sorry.
fine.
sorry. God bless. Okay, here we go. Merry
getting
Christmas.
back in our box.
Bless your heart.
Bless your.
Bless your heart.
Anyway,
Sorry.
you
Thank you,
missed the description of the interior of the house, but
Is it gorgeous
You-
and warm?
I'll chat it to
before
you.
you even walk in, Jill, Merrick says to you, he says, so, a roof or privacy?
I kind of get this coy look on my face, and I say, "I'm always one for privacy."
Thought so.
Yep,
You can
I
take
go
a
with
look
him.
if you want, but otherwise
Wait,
he's
they're
not even
walking
going
off?
in your house. Yes.
Yeah, I peek into the thing and
Going
I'm like,
far. Like they had already started to build a fire right outside this, but
yep.
I wanna, I wanna try to get Jill alone for a few minutes, but I will wait if it looks like she and Merrick are.
yeah,
a long
it
time
looks
between
like
here
she
and
and
Erie
Merrick
boardroom.
are. It's true.
Yeah, I'll just leave him be.
I like to imagine Callista's like, wait, and I'm just like,
It takes Callista a minute to like pick up on the hint, but she does pick up on the hint.
oh my god, better late than never. Callista's growing.
Callista, where'd they go?
Callista turns kind of red as she like tries to like come up with an explanation.
To be alone.
Yeah,
Oh.
that.
Well, I guess more space for the rest of us.
I suppose so. Do you suppose they are safe out there? Are we
Well,
safe
they know-
in here? Like, is there something magical on here that others cannot find it, or?
Oh, yeah, the house is secure. Only we can come in. Or I would know who else comes in. Whether it's through the door, the windows, the chimney, any of that.
That is impressive.
Merrick and Jill are keeping watch.
Oh, so, Leith, we have a question in chat. Is this cottage Leith size or human sized?
That's
Like,
a good.
are we in,
yeah.
are we in Hobbiton?
Yeah.
Hobbiton!
Inside is human sized.
Gnomington?
One of the beds is gnome sized.
Okay.
It's the only one that's not a bunk bed. The rest are all bunk beds.
None of
The
the
door
Oh!
is slightly between, like, the door's like a 5.5 foot, 6 foot door. So most of you can walk through without crouching, but it's not a full sized human door.
That is super thoughtful.
Love it.
Much
But
appreciated.
8 foot ceilings on
He
the
would have
inside.
banged his head. Callista would have like kind of bent him down a little bit, kind of like the whole perp walk thing. Like,
Yeah, right. Watch your head.
I just imagine, like, Gandalf. Oh!
So I
try to
kind
avoid that.
of turn to a wall and I say, "Hey, Beyonce," talking to the wall. How's it look? Is it nice?
Oh, it's very nice.
Wow.
You would really like it. It's
I-
too bad you're blind.
Yes, I agree. So how's that coming?
Well, I didn't sleep, so you kind of have to be blind for a little while longer.
All right, just keeping it on your mind, so whenever you're ready.
With all that said, I assume
it's
we're
of
gonna get
utmost importance.
some actual sleep then.
Eventually.
And yes, eventually, outside.
Beyonce would definitely be trying to, like, write in his journal, but he would fall flat onto it after just being so exhausted.
That's fair. Okay. Well, eventually, about 8 hours will pass. So it's still about midday by the time that you all get some restful sleep. Or eventually restful sleep. And
There is an alarm spell across the door and the windows, so if Jill and Merrick ever
Merrick.
decide to come back in,
We don't.
there would
They
be a loud
don't.
bell that rings and wakes everybody up very
Like
briefly.
it under the stars.
Oh,
They-
walk of shame style.
it's true. He can point out all the constellations. He's a
Yes,
ranger.
and I listen intently.
He knows all that stuff.
Constellations are out in the
Yeah, you're
daytime.
stargazing.
Oh yeah, it's daytime. Never mind. She's
Shows
like,
me
just
where the
imagine
sun
them.
is, and I pretend like I'm enamored.
She loves it whenever it is, I'm sure.
Tell me about the
Okay,
sky,
anyway.
babe.
Nothing hassles you or bothers you though. You guys are fine.
Woohoo!
Well, that
You guys
is
have gotten
not.
some lucky rolls thus far.
This is not par for the course.
No, it's not. Okay, so presumably you will pack up and get back on the road.
Well, are
Maybe-
we?
maybe
I'll kind of
try
go
to-
over to Beyonce. Yeah, in the morning. I guess afternoon when we wake up. In the time in which we wake up. So, are we going to attempt an amputation before we get back on the road? It seems as
I
though.
would like to try a few more things before we do that.
Do you have things to try?
Yes, if it's a curse, I can try remove curse. If it's magic, I could try dispel magic. I don't know how powerful this is.
Jeremy
you do
says,
those
"Why
things-
are we keeping secrets from me?"
You're new to the party. I'm sorry, we have a lot of secrets to keep.
We're
Well,
just not sure if perhaps you have some sort of link to Myth Dranor that we do not know about. You know, we cannot completely trust you yet.
I don't know any link to anything. Except this guy. And he looks or tries to look.
Except
at
this
Sky.
old so-and-so.
Beyonce's just gonna look at everybody else and say, I don't know, I kind of like him.
Leith's decision because it is Leith's body.
Yeah.
But what about him?
He can have his
Not
own.
his body.
He can grow
Not
his
his
own.
body, but he didn't choose it.
Neither
Oh,
did
jeez.
I.
We're going down a rabbit
So you
hole.
think he should die for that?
I'm not sure he's really alive.
Seems
Merrick,
pretty alive to me.
Listening to all this says, I have heard some things in my tales about wild magic.
What kind of things?
That there are sorcerers who have looked into it and looked for ways to reverse some of the strange effects that come about because of them.
And?
I don't know what those ways are.
You
but
know any
those-
of these sorcerers?
I'm sure we could look some up.
Jill,
If
I don't know what you
that's
see in
something
this
that
guy.
you're
He doesn't
interested
seem to
in.
know a whole
Yeah,
lot.
that wasn't very
He knows
helpful.
everything about everything. He just told you they're sorcerers that can
Really?
take care of you.
He always makes the best lore rolls ever. I don't know what to tell you.
He knows of a place that can take care of your head just because he can't do it himself.
Besides, at my temple, they might be able to take care of it. There are more
That's a
powerful clerics
long
than
way
I.
away.
We're gonna be passing through a lot of cities, Leith. Just get
Yes,
to
we
know
do.
him a little bit.
And they're gonna
then-
chase me out of town for being a monster with two heads.
Will not. We'll just
They
we'll just put a
They
tunic
didn't
on
seem
you.
super excited about the
Listen.
fact that I was a werewolf. A werewolf with
just-
two heads is just
we'll
gonna
just-
make them angrier.
We'll put a tunic on you and pretend like you're a humpback, and then it'll be fine, and nobody will
A
give
hump
you the
shoulder?
second look.
Yeah, there are stranger things.
Yep.
Right, well, what are we doing before we leave? Beyonce, can you cure Seamus before we leave?
I am going to try a couple of things.
Try.
All right,
Wait,
a couple of things.
wait,
A
try.
couple of things, a couple of things, a couple of things.
I thought they might work, they might not.
I-
Try.
I don't recall there being a maybe about this whole thing. So
I wanted you to feel better.
yes.
You want me
Alright,
awake for this, Seamus? Because I could put you to sleep while he does whatever
Well, it is
he's
not going
doing.
to hurt.
Can I nothing should hurt. It's can I roll something?
What are you trying to roll?
Oh, it's that can I like figure out if I know what sort of spell I would be able to cast that would fix this?
That would be a spellcraft check.
Oof. Even if they're spells that I know?
I thought we
Yes.
knew.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you already knew it before, and you
I
don't
thought we knew
remember
what
out of
spell
game, you
to
can make a
fix
wisdom
Seamus.
check. Otherwise, make a spellcraft check for me.
Here, I'll do a wisdom. That's way better.
Okay.
Ooh, yeah. That is a 22.
Yeah, there are spells specifically for removing blindness, and that is something that, as a cleric, you would be able to call upon and ask your god to provide you with that magic.
Do
That
I
day.
know which one that is?
Remove blindness.
Remove blindness. I will
It
I
is
will
a third level spell.
prepare that spell, and I will be like, oh, all right, hold on, you got a little schmutz on you, and I'm gonna, and Beyonce's gonna grab his holy symbol, start muttering in Celestial, and
Ooh.
and his hands are going to turn like a golden light, and he's actually going to touch his eyes, like close his eyes, and then they're going to glow. And then as he opens up his eyes, he should have blindness.
Wait.
Removed.
Oh, removed. Good.
Yes.
Yeah, and Seamus, as you open your eyes, you can see.
Whoa!
It's
I look at
What-
Seamus, I'm like, can you see us?
Whoa.
normal blindness.
Barnacles, it's bright.
Guys.
Yes, that
Yay!
Tyr is great, isn't he?
So,
Wow.
Our humble cottage.
Is there a spell that you learned at your temple Beyonce that is called Remove Creepy Magic Head?
That'd be nice.
I could try remove curse if it's a curse. I could try dispel magic.
Well, it doesn't seem like a blessing.
Oh.
That depends on who you ask, I suppose. But
It's not a real.
But yes,
Well,
you could try
whichever you
either one
want.
of those. This one is not one that making a spellcraft check would probably tell you because it's such an unusual one-off kind
Yeah.
of wild magic. Like a blindness effect is pretty straightforward, but growing a second head is not. But those are logical extensions of spells that you could try.
Worst
Alright.
comes to worst, you accidentally fix me from being a werewolf.
Hey, that.
Drop his werewolf curse
Bonus,
while you're at it.
As the sight restores to full crispness, I look over at Leith and I say, "Oh my God, I forgot how hideous that thing is." Oh.
All right. Well, that's
You don't look so good yourself, old man.
Oh.
When 200-year-old you reach.
and then well, it's worth a try, I suppose. And then you might want to ear muffin.
Which spell are you going for then, Dion?
I'm gonna try remove curse first.
Okay, remove curse does require a caster level check. So you're going to make a d20 plus your level, caster level.
Okay. That's a 20, not natural.
A 20. Okay, so go ahead and describe yourself casting this spell.
So this one is going to, I'm gonna grab my holy symbol again, and this time my hand is going to start glowing like black. And he's going to touch the head, and then it's going to start glowing with this blinding light. And it's
Okay.
going to envelop the head.
And
see-
Jeremy's eyes get wide at that. And then it gets brighter and brighter. And then he's just gone.
Jeremy!
Rest in peace, Jeremy!
You made me do that!
Beyonce, you're my favorite
really the-
person ever.
This was the better way because otherwise we would have had tried to cauterize where we cut him off and
Yes,
Yeah.
better.
It was a
Oh,
much
thank you
less
so much.
barbaric.
I was pretty
Method.
horrified that like chop it up was where you were going to go first.
I know.
At the discussion of that, Jill starts rubbing her shoulder and she feels like the little scars where Laren normally dug in. And she kind of like snaps real quick and then walks out of the cabin and whistles.
Let out your Laren whistle.
Katya's out in the forest hunting,
Okay.
not Laren.
Thank
Or
you.
Katya might come back for the whistling, thinking something's up. But Laren does not appear.
Oh my god.
Katya does
Oh.
come to you when you whistle.
You would
I
see the
kinda-
panther poke itself out of the foliage. And
I think we lost her.
I think she froze.
Froze.
It's alright, give it a second.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
I'm scritching
Hang in there,
Katya
folks.
under the chin and just
It's kinda
still
like
kind
Katya
of
has something
concernedly.
in her mouth. I can still
We
hear
lost
audio.
you for a second, Brooke.
Am I,
We-
okay.
You're back.
So
So
Katya
she has something in her mouth?
has something in her mouth. It is small. It's like a limp animal of some kind. And
With
it's
feathers?
green. No, it's kind of scaly. So
Okay.
she was clearly having a hard time like chewing on it. So she just decided to bring it back
Jesus.
in the middle of her attempt. And it does have like a small, almost like beak looking thing. And as you get closer and she brings it closer, it looks almost like draconic in nature. And make a perception check, Jill.
Perception checks is 30.
30. Okay, that's plenty.
Oh no, I know what this is. I know what. No,
You
Brooke.
suddenly hear an angry squawking screech coming through the forest from the direction that Katya was just coming.
Katya, what have you
As-
done?
An angry mother comes
No!
comes after her. All right, I'm gonna put it in the roll 20. See if you guys want to hop over there.
Oh
Dun,
god.
dun, dun.
Jill immediately arms
And
herself.
what appears out of the forest is it looks like a small green scaled dragon in some way. It
These
has
guys.
2 powerful legs and a pair of long leathery wings, and a long spike adorns its thrashing tail.
My God.
And it looks like it's maybe about 10 feet long, with
Oh no.
equally as long tail, and it looks like it weighs quite a bit. I can have people make a Arcana check on this guy to see if they
The
recognize
rest of us are
it.
still inside, are we?
Oh.
Well, Jill's
my
the one who
God.
sees it first, but when you all see it, then you can go ahead.
Yeah, I don't
Katia-
have Arcana.
Katia
Jill's
drops-
real dumb.
Katia drops what is in her mouth and tries to push it behind her, so it is kind of hidden.
Yep, and we're going.
Close behind it.
Jill, I will allow you 1 quick reaction, and then we'll be going into an initiative. So, what do you immediately do as you see this thing?
How far away? Where is it on the map? I can't see it.
Oh, hold on. I'll put it on the map. Give me a
Thanks,
second.
that would help. That would help me decide. God,
Okay.
Sirenscape.
It's right here.
Jesus.
And then let me move everybody else over. So they're all still over there. And Jill, you went out to call there.
I'm like here. Okay.
You're like there. Yep.
Katia's out here
Okay.
somewhere too, right?
Free action. So can I get like a 5-foot step and then an axe throw, please?
If you're going to go for an attack, then we will roll into an init. But I will
Okay,
allow
then-
you to draw your weapon. So you can have your weapon drawn. Are you saying or doing anything else like free action type?
My big question is, do I get a sneak attack if I attack right now?
If you get before it, because it's coming out of the woods. So it's
Okay, but
possible
we
that
would
it
go
saw
into
you
initiative.
because
So I just
you
yell for
weren't
the
already
others.
stealth. If you want to stealth quickly, I could allow you to do that.
No, I yell for the others, and I yell for the others, and I'm like, guys, there's something big and green out here, and that's all I say.
Something that's
Jill's
green.
panicking.
Okay. Go ahead, everybody, and
That's green.
roll an initiative. Then you can put those in there.
Alright.
I always frickin' blow initiative.
Oh my
I'm
God.
screwed. I'ma die.
Well, it rolled pretty poorly, so you got that going for you at least.
Oof.
Creepy noises by Sirenscape.
I just had to do a dragon for Sirenscape, and I had to do a bunch of like, and it was like really weird.
I love that Merrick just rolled a nat 20 to get a surprise round when he heard his
Yes.
screaming. This
Alright,
guy. Boyfriend of the year.
stand by
Okay.
yo man.
All right. I still need Callista's rolls in there, Beyond's roll, and Seamus. If you can't access that, let me know and I'll plug it in for you.
Katia.
I got a 1, Brooke.
Ah, what is that total to, Seamus?
5.
Okay.
I imagine Seamus comes out into the sunlight just a little too soon, and
He's
like,
still
"Ah!"
sun blinded, yeah.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
Okay. That gets everybody in there. All right, so Merrick is the first person to be able to react upon hearing the scream. And he wastes no time grabbing that sword that you guys found, that like light sword that he's been equipped with, and rushing outside. 20, 25, 30.
Actually
He's so
first?
brave.
No, because he got a nat 20, so he's in the surprise round. So he's gonna position himself next to you with his sword. And that's gonna take his whole surprise round turn. So then Katia can react now. She's got her turn.
Does it look like the mama
It
knows?
looks mad. That's all you know. Katia isn't sure how specifically mad, but it looks mad.
Okay, Katia's gonna like kind of crouch down over top of the body that she has and just kind of like growl in kind of a possessive way.
Okay, possessive.
Yes.
Like, don't take my snack.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
I thought so.
if it comes to attack her, she'll just claw it.
Okay, so readying an attack.
Yep.
Merrick is going to do the same, so he's going to ready an attack with his.
Actually, I'll say if it attacks any one of our party. Katya
Okay.
Katya
If
will.
it comes within attack range, it attacks. Beyond, can you please check your hit points on there, Seamus, too? Because when you guys added the hit points you got, it put you over your max. So just make sure.
Yes,
maximum.
because my hit points is
Yep.
maximum is 88 now.
Oh, okay. I'll fix that then.
Oh yeah, mine is 65 too, so we should.
Okay.
I think yeah.
I gotcha.
Cool, thank you.
All right, go ahead, Beyond.
All right. Well, first of all, he is going to be very grateful that he can cast his spells again, but he's going to have a little bit of a reluctance, like, is this actually going to work? And he's going to put his hands together, and that's going to start glowing with the same radiant glow, and then he's going to burst out, and rays of light are going to hit all of my teammates, and I'm going to cast prayer.
Ooh, very nice. Okay.
What do we get from
Can
that?
you
Rose?
give them the...
Yep, looking
That's
it up, I
prayer.
have a very long spell list.
I made you a card for this spell.
I know, I can't
Life
find it right
is
now.
a mystery. Madonna starts playing. All
I
right,
believe
while,
it's like a it's a +1 to a lot of things.
while you're looking that up, Ross, we'll have
Damage
Leith
rolls,
go,
saving
and
throws,
then you can just do it after Leith's turn here. You can tell him.
Okay,
Go ahead, Leith.
Is it also on Katya?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
All right, Leith will run up so that he's got a clear line of sight on it. And he's going to cup his hands to his face and whisper something into it, and then sort of make like a turtle shape with his hands and cast Baleful Polymorph.
Oh!
What is that?
It needs to make a fortitude save, or it is going to turn into a painted turtle.
Amazing.
Also, everybody, it's a +1 luck bonus on attack rolls, weapon damage rolls, saves, and skill checks, while each of our foes takes a -1 penalty on those rolls.
If it is a fortitude save, it got a 22, Brad.
Okay, it succeeds.
Okay. It does not turn into a turtle. So you just look like you're doing weird turtle puppet show over there.
Mm-hmm.
So, Brooke,
Callista.
The
Yes.
dragon has a -1 on all those things too.
Is it on a save?
It is also saving
Okay, that would
throws.
drop that down by 1, Leith. Would that affect
Nope.
it? Okay.
Because it's a transmutation spell.
Okay.
If it was enchantment,
Nope, that's fine. Go ahead, Callista.
Okay. I will run out of the cottage. Does the whatever it is manner seem to be specifically threatening toward Katya or toward all of us?
It's looking at Katya right now.
Okay, well I do not like that. I will draw my bow, the oath bow, and I will resist. I will think briefly about naming it, but then realize I don't know what it is.
Nobody has knowledge arcana who's seen it yet.
Oh,
I rolled a 19 on that.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear that.
I do actually have it, but I
19 is just enough.
So,
yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Leith, you would identify it as a forest drake specifically. They're like the degenerate little cousins of green dragons. So they have cruel cunning, but little actual wit. They're more like forest bullies, and they like to eat elves and fae. This is from... and they
I'm
will...
gonna take that personally.
They usually organize themselves in packs, so once in a while there'll be one or just a pair of them. So you know that. Sometimes they stay with like their siblings, and you would know that they don't generally do much to raise their offspring once they're hatched.
oh,
That's
deadbeats.
as much as you know.
All right, I'm going to knock an arrow
Okay?
and aim it, and I will release if it moves threateningly toward my cat.
All right, sounds good. Can I get everybody who is outside of the hut to make a perception check, please?
got a 23.
That's not great.
33.
This only
11.
requires a 14
32.
14!
to
Didn't get
notice another one of them coming out of the woods and trying to sneak around this way towards Leith. But you definitely see it, Leith, so it's not hiding whatsoever.
They are
Okay.
hunting.
And it's just kind of creeping towards you, but that took its whole move to get out there. So the other one, however, is going to lunge forward, which will provoke some attacks, as it seems like
Get it,
it's
Merrick.
going to actually attack Jill because she's more kind of in the way. So Katya will get the first swipe.
Does she get both of her claws?
Oh,
Because
I'm
she's
sorry, it's
coming at
here,
with-
'cause Jill's actually
Oh.
in the square. The
Jeez.
map's a little funky.
That's okay.
Does she get both claws with a held attack or just one?
Yeah, because she held her attack, she gets to do her full attack.
Okay. Oh man. I'm guessing one of them. It's a 14 and a 27.
The 14 won't do anything, and it will quickly dart its head underneath the claw, but then she quickly gets it like on the back with her other one. So how much damage will that do?
Add a +1 to the damage, and
Oh, so it's actually 15. That's right to the attack roll.
That still would not hit.
Okay. It's weapon damage rolls specifically, so I don't think it counts for her claws.
Okay.
I'm asking, but I'm assuming it.
oh yes, let me look. Weapon damage rolls, correct.
Yes.
So it's a 5 slashing damage.
Okay. All right. So she cuts a small bloody swath across its face, which it does not like. And then Merrick's gonna come at it too with the sword here.
Everybody watch Merrick. Everybody watch him. It's gonna be adorable. So
Well,
fierce.
those are both definitely going to hit. So 9 and 7. So he will do a total of 16 damage with a whirling chop at the back of the thing, like whipping across its back,
Amazing.
leaving a dark bloody mark. And then he follows it up with another powerful stroke from behind. The thing looks pretty damaged by that. Jill,
Callista
Okay.
does not get her attack because it didn't directly go for Katya, right?
that is what you had said.
Yep.
Yep.
I would like to try to hit it in the face.
Okay.
That will be a 31 to hit.
Yeah, easy.
Great. That's 11 points of damage.
With a almost cavalier shrug over here, Jill does how much?
11.
11. Takes that.
And I want to hit it again. Here I go. Here I go. Here I go. Here I go again. Oh, for God's sake. Well, that's a crit.
Out about half of its remaining vitality.
Amazing.
Ooh.
I just critted on the second attack here.
Yeah, baby.
So that's gonna be minimum damage, but that's
Roll that damage.
3, 5, 6 times.
Don't forget the +1 from prayer.
2, 7 times 2 is 14.
14.
Yeah.
That's still enough. So you are going to do a swift pivot after your first one, bringing you into the perfect position to cut the thing down completely. Probably taking its head off in the process.
Yes.
All right,
And,
one down.
Yep.
Seamus is still not even aware of what's really happening at this point in time. Maybe he pokes his head out. The sun's too blinding.
What's that
Right.
going on? Are we having a... Oh!
What's that ruckus? Get off my lawn.
It's a fight!
Katya. Katya's up.
Katya's going to go back to her snack.
All right, Katya just starts munching on her little Drake baby. Merrick did not actually notice the other Drake, so he would just turn to Jill and he'd put a hand on her shoulder I need to say nice. Are you all right?
Thank you, I'm fine. There's another one right over there.
Oh no. Beyonce.
A lot of information in 6 seconds.
Would Beyonce have heard that?
Yeah,
he
like
would've-
you're only a few feet away from there.
Okay, I was like, oh, and I thought this day was gonna go better. And he'll just kind of clank up towards them.
Okay. Are you clanking up towards the Drake or towards where your friends are?
Where my friends are.
Okay, so Beyonce comes up. The thing is dead, so there's that.
And he's gonna have Justifier up. He's like, where is it? Where is it?
Why, you wanna...
Merrick just
Let me
points
at
at the dead one. Okay, Leith, this one's trying to come up and sneak up on you here. Poor Leith.
Leith is going to panic for a second and say, I am not a snack! And run and use tree stride and disappear into this tree that's right next to him.
Oh my god.
Aww.
And reappear
Platform 3 and
out of the tree that's behind him.
Very nice. Well, it's properly confused. It crit failed. It has no idea where you are, so it's just like turning to look in the tree, like assuming you're in the tree there.
Amazing.
Okay. Callista.
All right, I am going to shoot it with the oath bow. I am going to use many shot for 2 arrows. And I am going to use just 2 regular.
Okay.
Oh my. Well,
Oh
one of
my.
them was a crit fail.
Oh.
Oh
The
dear.
other one is a 24 to hit.
Breaking out the crit fail deck already. Let's see if you get a second attack or not.
They both went at the same time.
Okay, well, there's that at least. The one twangs too close to your eye, like against the side of your head when you let it go. And so it says seeing double. That means all your attacks for the next round have a 50% miss chance. But your other one does go, and that one does hit.
And it does 4.
4 damage? All right. That
Is it a
sinks
magical beast?
Into the side. It is a dragon.
Is
Magical
that?
beast.
I mean, is that? So magical beast is one of my favorite enemies. I don't know if is dragon a separate category.
It's in the same as it's Arcana thing. Look it up. I can't remember right now. I think it's different. I think they're
I
their
think it
own
is
thing,
different.
but I want you to double
Dragons are
check.
their own subtype.
Well,
I
yeah.
think.
It's 4 damage, and if it's an extra 2 damage if it is, but I'll look it up.
Okay. I'll leave it off for right now. All right. So the thing is really sure that Leith is in there because it crit failed. So what it's going to do is it's going to let out an acidic cloud that it's going to spit into this little bush, so to speak. But it's going to spit it on the far side of it, like it goes up and over. So when it does this, 5, 10. Katya is still going to be in the radius spread of it. So I will need Katya to make a reflex save.
Alright.
We get a little acid fog.
15.
15. That is going to be just enough. So
Yeah.
does she have evasion or no?
He does.
All right, then she will definitely sidestep taking any damage. So instead, just the tree will take a lot of damage from that, and the leaves and the branches are just melting away, leaving it very clear that there's nothing inside as this acid just eats that tree to nothing, just dripping off from the remnants of the
And
husk
leaving
that
it
it
very
is.
clear that there's nothing
And it
inside.
lets out a very
Acid is,
angry
like, eating that
snarl
tree
when it sees
to nothing.
no little snack
Ripping
hanging out in
off
there.
from the remnants.
Well, the tree is now gone, so it doesn't obscure anyone's sight. Jill,
Well, that's actually beneficial to me. So I'm
It
gonna go
is!
5, 10, 15, 20 up to this thing and go whack right in the face.
no one
Fingers
said they're the
crossed.
smartest thing, okay?
Here I go. Here I go. Here I go. That's an 18 to hit.
An 18 will hit. Comparing these to raptors, I think raptors chat are a little smarter than these
That's
guys.
9 points of damage.
9 points of damage.
Jill
All
screams
right.
a mighty war cry as she runs up to it and then just goes whap right across its face.
Did you add the 1 weapon damage from prayer?
Ah, I'm so sorry. I did not.
I didn't
It is
either.
instead 11 points of damage.
All right. Well, that lands
Thanks,
unexpectedly because it's so busy being petulant about having lost Leith that just out of nowhere suddenly you're slicing it and it just looks over at you, grimacing, snarling, snapping
Making that
its
sound.
teeth, making that ugly noise. Seamus is finally in the game.
So, looking
You
up,
can see.
yeah, I can see I can see it all too clearly now. My friends are in a fight, and I am late to this fight. So I just kind of leap into action, and I immediately go into a flurry of blows, starting with a style strike with my flying kick. So you see
Nice.
Seamus like fly through the air, foot first, into this big old ugly lizard.
+1 to this.
Oh, I got you. I'm ready for
Alright.
this. Yeah.
Thank you, Ross.
So my first attack, and of which there shall be many, so I'm going to try and be quick about this, is a 16 to hit.
That one will not hit.
Okay, but I still get there, right?
Yep, it'll get you across the distance.
Okay, so I get there, miss my first kick because I was too eager, I think. Wow, exact same thing. 16 to hit. Still waking up, folks. Seamus hasn't had his coffee. Looking even like bleary-eyed at this thing and a little annoyed with myself, I go to strike again. This time, doing a 33 to hit. Really
That
wanting
one,
it.
definitely, like you're going overtime here, but yes,
Yeah.
you'll shove. He's been kind of like bringing its wing down, and you duck underneath the wing this time to just whap him.
Hooah!
Makes a
And-
nice hearty smack.
Yep, and then so that one does 5 damage. And then hold on to your butts. I got 2 new ones for you. So next one is a 17 to hit.
Yes, with
Sweet.
another whacking thud, you get him again.
And
It's like
that
Rocky
does.
beating the side of cattle.
Yep. You gotta punch the meat rock. All right.
Through the ribs, kid.
So that one's a 8 damage on that one.
Right.
And then my final and most likely glorious of all, is a 14 to hit. So
That
no.
will miss. All right.
But it looked cool.
Yay.
You sure did. You
Katya.
sure did.
Katya had her snack ruins
Yeah,
by
she
this acid
realizes
spray.
that the rather wounded-looking large drake is a much larger snack, and it suddenly looks very tasty. And so, she goes running up and pounces and bites at it.
Very gettable.
Pounces right through that dispersing cloud of acid that had
And
taken
she gets
the
a
tree.
natural 20.
Of course.
Oh!
Yeah, she does.
MVP. MVP.
Katya's bay.
The wild snarl.
Do you want me to just give you the
Damage.
yeah? Do you double anything with a crit?
Yeah, you double your damage.
Everything.
All the damage or just
Yep.
okay? So then
For hers.
18.
Don't forget the +1 from prayer.
No, because it's not a weapon.
Oh,
Right.
Cut.
18.
He does 18 damage.
She
can
will
He can also trip.
land on its chest and sink her fangs right into its throat as it tries to thrash its neck around and just tear a big chunk out of it that causes the thing to slump motionless onto the ground as it
Keeps
is
tearing away at it.
defeated.
Jill is like ready to whack it again, and it's just like, ah.
We are out of initiative.
All right.
Patty, you are making a mess.
Leith is going to
Your
step
cat,
back
you're
through
gonna
the
have to give her a
tree he
bath.
just emerged from and then appear behind everybody else and say, "Is it dead?"
Huh!
Where did
And
it
that
come from?
is probably a good place for us to take our break.
Awesome.
It is-
Ah.
Stick around, people.
It is 8:25, so we will be
Perfect.
back at 8:35 with
See you in 10
more
minutes, folks.
travel adventures. See you guys in 10 minutes. And we're back. Hi guys. Coming
Hello,
back
everyone.
from the break
Hello.
to more adventures. Welcome back to Dice Tales. If you're just joining us, we're on a travel adventure road trip.
Road trip.
Sing a song, yes, a travel song. Oh, damn it.
10 seconds max.
Man, that's it. All right,
Only
so
parodies
you guys,
and original compositions.
You guys had managed to get on the road and just bought some forest drakes in the midday here after waking up, but have managed to take those down. And so I imagine we'll be continuing to move out at this point in time. Correct?
If those are tasty meat, I feel like we would have harvested some of that.
Yeah, if you want to try to harvest the meat, go ahead and make a survival check before you guys take off. Yes, smart.
Got a 17 survival.
Got a 21.
21. Yeah, you can definitely get some rations to take with you guys on the road. And you're careful enough to know, like, the fact that they have the acid
Avoid the acid
glands and avoid the acid. Yeah. The good thing is it just emptied it out, so it was still producing some more.
It was the
Leith isn't
sack,
going to
but it was
help,
empty.
but he'll stand over Callista's shoulder, I guess, off to the side and watch and just be like, "Yeah, who's the snack now?"
You tell it, Leith. So you guys will actually have some food to get you guys through the next days anyway, on top of the rations you normally have. So it is 5 more days that you're going to be traveling along the North Ride. Is there anything specific I should know about the way that you are all traveling? Are you staying on the road? Are we just keeping up like the fastest pace possible? Anything I should know about watch or things like that?
I'd say stay on the road.
It will be faster if we stay on the road.
And every
Probably-
night when we set up camp, we'll go a little ways off and Leith can create his magic cottage.
It's very comfy. Eventually, I'm sure like Jill and Merrick will even try it out.
It's super comfy.
You guys can slide 2 bunk beds together if you want to be close. It's fine.
And I just like give him a look.
Is the cottage the same every time? Like, if I was to like make my bed a certain way, would it still be made that way when we come back, or does it?
It's pretty bare. Like, so the interior, the flavor changes based on what he makes it out of. Like, if it's stone, it has more stone feel to it. But the basic layout and structure is pretty bare. It, like, you throw your sleeping bag on a simple bunk bed. It's not like a ornate mattress that you get to make every morning. So
don't leave anything behind. It won't be there the next day.
the cottage lasts until I dispel it, or for 22 hours, and then it just goes away and all your stuff would just fall. It's not like another dimension. This is a cottage other people can see. It's just easy and secure for us to stay in, and has a security system and a magical unseen servant.
Good to know.
All of which are nice things.
Also, eventually, Beyonce would see his reflection and see that he still just has his bare, like, torn out eye. And he's going to be like, "Oh, is that what I look like?"
Yeah.
And he's immediately going to pull out his standard issue Crimson headband, like head wrap, and he's gonna wrap it kind of like the one guy from
300.
300,
Yeah.
covering his eye. That'll have to do for now.
Beyonce, that is a mark of honor that you wear. You should not be
Oh,
ashamed
I
of
know.
it.
Well, I'm very proud of my eye, but it does not look pretty.
No,
Well,
but
getting
the
infected.
whole eye patch thing you got going on, it looks really badass.
Oh,
Does,
good.
actually.
It kind of like messes with my hair in a weird way, though. I have
Merrick.
ideas.
Merrick would say maybe we can get you something more fitting when we get to the city.
That
At
sounds glorious.
Sometime along this journey, I've probably been making a little papoose for the seed, so I'm not having to tuck it under my arm like a football the whole frickin'
Yeah,
journey.
you can have it safely slung. I imagine it fits across the front of you. Is
Yeah,
that
it's kind of like a
true?
messenger bag, kind of like across the, yeah, and it's just sort of like a duffel bag.
Okay.
No,
Ah, so you've learned a thing or two.
Does Seamus
I
still look
just
like
take a
snake?
drink and I say I prefer my eyes.
Barb says that she can't hear us. Are we?
Are we no sound? No, somebody can't hear. Just can't hear. Yeah.
I'm back. But all the things I said were very funny.
They were. It was
I think-
filthy. Like
I think
so
everybody could
offensive.
hear the rest of us. It was just Seamus. So, could you want to describe one more time what you were doing there,
Yeah.
Seamus?
Take two. So, as we're walking along the road, you begin to see that Seamus is kind of jumping out into the side of the caravan and doing flips and flying kicks and going back and forth, and you slowly see him working on practicing some of his moves, and eventually you see he kind of takes a blindfold and kind of puts it around his head, and he starts to practice his kung fu without the aid of his sight.
Well, I think that's going to be a handy skill.
Yes, I should say so. I recently discovered that I need to be able to fight without the aid of my sight. And I do believe that summarizes most of what you missed.
I take a drink and I say I prefer my eyes.
like it would be unusual for you to be struck with blindness a second time, but I suppose you never know.
I will admit that I hope that Tyr doesn't ask me to get rid of the other one.
If he does, Beyonce, just as an option, you could
Say no.
say no.
I would agree with that. Say no.
No, I'm not so into heresy, so...
I don't say
But
anything.
what possible, I mean, what could you continue to do blind?
Well, Tyr himself is blind.
Completely blind? I thought he was just
Yeah.
missing one eye or something like
No,
that.
he's missing both.
Blind.
He,
I feel like it might be
he
easier
messed
to
with
get around
Aero
when
and
you're a deity, though.
a lot. Well, yes, he has like holy sight and stuff, but he doesn't have his eyes.
He also doesn't have
But
a hand.
like, how does he go shopping and things? He probably doesn't have to, being a god. Like,
No, he's
sorry, but you'd have a rougher
Besides-
time of it.
Besides, even if he couldn't, a lot of people would do it for him. I would do it for him.
I'm not gonna go
And
shopping
if you
for you.
didn't have
Beyonce.
Merrick
eyes.
says, so are you asking us to do your shopping for you? Is that where this is going?
No, I don't trust in your choices.
Jill
Oh.
elbows Merrick in the ribs.
Well, as you guys travel along on this road, you would find yourselves as you're getting out of the forest area on the road, passing a lot of farming communities that it's broken up by patches of light woods. But also you would see off in the distance a large number of old ruins that are often grown over, or sometimes farmers just seem to have farmed around them. And this road does start to get more and more heavily trafficked as you pass through some of the smaller villages and areas out of the dales here. There's lots of merchants and farmers who are making their way along the road, and also quite a few guards as you're passing through the Shadowdale region who travel this road as well. Is there anything I should know about the way you're presenting yourselves when the guards are around, or just ride and keeping yourself?
Just wear my armor. Always, when we were getting close to like somewhat civilization, at least I'm going to like start like shining it every day.
God. I'm lost as to exactly where we are on the map. How close are we to?
Here, I can pull up the route
Thanks.
map so you can see that.
That would be helpful.
So you should be able to look at that on there on roll 20.
Yeah.
You see the route map? We put that up there for our audience too, maybe. So you guys are taking the blue route from Mitranor and traveled through the forest region, going past Shadowdale, and then you're going through, you see where it kind of goes out of the woods and then skirts the woods, taking the road to Silverton. So that's where you're going right now.
Okay.
And there's a lot of
Got
merchant traffic going between like Silverton, Shadowdale, and
Yeah.
farmers
Okay.
in this region
So
as
we're
well.
good.
Where is
Passing
it?
through a
I'm just
village
going
with
slow.
merchants, nothing crazy specific, but Leith would spend a little bit of money and buy a new set of clothes, both in gnome size and in a rough approximation of like werewolf size.
Sure. Yeah, you can go ahead and just buy those in whatever, like they don't have nobles outfits or finery here, but they have
No, just-
common clothing and you can purchase those.
Sweet.
He's going to, Beyonce is also going to want to look for like various options to cover his eye. Doesn't have to be a permanent solution, but he wants to accessorize.
You do find some places where they sell like nice eye patches, actually. It's common enough for people, maybe like archers, to have accidents where things, people who can't afford fancy cleric services to get things fixed or whatnot. So there are eye patches that you can buy in whatever color or style, maybe worked out of like leather, nothing super expensive, doesn't have like gems in it or anything, but
I'm going to get like 5 of them. Like kind of like how we get masks now, like it's an accessory.
yes.
Yeah.
there you
Like
go.
it's like
Yeah.
like I want to change it every day, depending on my mood.
Right.
Perfect.
It's got to go with your outfit.
Feel like you
Alright.
need some gems to sew into some of them too, Beyonce, because
Oh, that is most definitely going to happen.
Just bedazzle
Do we
the
have
symbol
any-
of
do
tear
we
into
have
his eye
any?
patch.
Do we have any random jewels?
I have a whole bag of gems that we took from Mirabetta's manor. that
Time to
we-
Does anybody-
bedazzle that eye patch.
Does anybody have a hot glue gun?
Beyonce is so into crafting. You know it.
Oh yeah, totally. He's gonna start scrapbooking. It's,
Do you have those craft ranks going on?
Amazing.
I do not.
He's into
Craft eye
crafting,
patches,
but we didn't say
specifically.
he's good at crafting.
He is totally gonna try though, like maybe with some sap or something. He can use it as an adhesive.
Beyonce, I also have in my possession several hard candies. If you need some filler.
Oh yeah, we
could
can
make
kind of
this
like
edible.
crunch them and make. Yeah, those will
Yes.
kind of have a reflective
Yeah,
nature
you guys
too.
would notice that Barty's teeth are beginning to be kind of stuck together from like.
Oh,
From
Sometimes he has a hard time like chewing or grazing because of this.
Lethal just use prestidigitation to help him.
That's
fix
probably
his teeth.
brush his
Somebody needs to be on Barty's tooth duty.
Need a dentist for your.
And on like a rotating basis, Leith will just have conversations with the horses and Katya as
Awesome.
traveling.
Oh, hey. So when I see him freaking having a conversation with Katya and the horses, I whistle for Laren again. See
Okay.
if he comes.
You whistle again. Make a perception check.
Perception is a 35.
You're looking so hard for your hawk. watching the skies. And it's not that sometimes you don't see hawks here and there.
They're probably very high.
Right. And you can see them, and it's hard to make out because of how far away they are, if that would be your hawk or not. And it's at times discouraging to see like birds fly past, and you let out these whistles that are familiar to Laren that you know he would pick up anywhere. But you had sent him off to send a message back to Miklos, and are not sure that there's any way for him to know where you have gone. And this is the longest you've been without seeing him. But on the 5th day of travel here, you would see one of those birds in the sky, and then it would slowly start circling around. And as you let out another whistle, it would start coming down towards you.
Does Katya smell anything familiar?
Katya can make a perception check for me.
She got a 27.
Oh yeah, Katya knows the scent of Laren very well.
Yay!
And knows that he's coming.
He goes up and starts kind of like shoulder bumping Jill.
And I kind of like am like kind of just like numbly like looking up at him, and I'm so happy, and I just like I'm so excited, and I like reach into my pouch and I pull out just a little scrap of that lizard meat, and I toss it up into the air to like meet him.
And Laren comes catching it out of there and then like looping around.
It's him!
What a guy! What a guy!
Hey, it
Oh my
has been a long
God.
time since we have seen you, Laren.
And then he would come
Honestly,
and
I thought he
land
was dead or
on
lost.
your shoulder. He's not dead. It was hard for him to find you.
Kind of like rub my face in like to his side, and I'm just like, Jill walks away, but she's freaking crying, and she is just like, she's like just nuzzling him and talking to him, and it's just, oh my God, I'm so
You would
happy.
see that he does have a note tied to his leg, like where you had sent a note off.
I'm way away from everybody, so I like unfurl it.
Okay. And the note is written in a broad calligraphy.
Of course it is. Is it beautiful and well trained?
It is very beautiful. and
Jill rolls her eyes
well-trained.
before she even starts reading this thing.
Many embellishments.
The page is just the first letter.
Jill smells it. Does it have cologne on
Oh
it?
yes, it
Of
has.
course
It
does.
has an intense musk. One might
My
even
gilded
say.
edges.
Not that far. Not that far.
Oh man.
But it
fancy
would
paper.
say, "My most esteemed children of destiny, I have received your word. Thank you for the documents you have sent. It will go well to our case, built against the Zentrum and all that Mirabetta has tried to do against me and mine. I am most disturbed by the accounts that you tell of what these Sharans and cultists are about. I am not certain if we can risk sending anyone to aid you in such a place as Nor. If this message finds you and finds you in health, and you require the assistance of my ravens, send word once more, and we will be ready to march. Miklos Selkirk."
Jill waves the little note, and she's like, well, here's a note. It was on Laren, and it was in an accent. So here it is. I think it's from Miklos.
It's written with all these little flourishes that
Yes.
seem to have it.
Umlauts and accents over
Yeah.
letters.
Yeah.
For some reason, there's an
Only-
umlaut in there. It's-
Only Miklos can write in an accent.
Yeah.
And I just
Oh,
kind of
bless
hand
him.
it to Beyonce, and I'm like, here you go.
And it does
I-
have a little silver raven down at the bottom.
Oh,
like
Nice.
drawn in.
Awesome.
Wax seal.
Yep.
I go to
Awesome.
Callista. I actually want to go over to Callista, and I'm like, so I sent him all the paperwork on the Zentrum, so he knows everything now.
Well, hopefully that has forestalled the Civil War.
It's not exactly like the Zentrum are our biggest worries right now.
I
And
know.
Jill kind of laughs to herself at how piddly that seems after like all this.
After learning the full scale of everything that's going
Yes.
on.
Jill,
We didn't know shit.
this is still while we're kind of apart from everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Should I be prepared for anything when we hit area ball? Is there anything that we should be alert for? You seemed disturbed.
Is it? Yeah.
You
Is
do
it
not have to
daytime
tell
right
me
now?
if you do not want to.
Is it daytime right now?
At this point, yeah, it's starting to drift towards evening, but still the day.
I just kind of shake my head. I'm like, just wait till we make camp. We'll take watch and then I'll tell you. I said short answer, yes. But it's a long story and I really don't want to tell it here. And I kind of like nod back at Beyonce.
All right.
Just sort of all the boys.
I
Right.
understand.
And eventually, you guys will make camp. You're only about a day out from Silverton at this point in time. So I assume that night, the two of you will find an excuse to make some privacy.
We're gonna toast some marshmallows over the fire.
There you go.
I'm drinking whiskey.
Like you do.
I'll share that.
Yeah, for sure. And
Merrick is doing rounds around the camp to keep an eye out for things.
yeah.
Seamus is probably smoking somewhere.
So
He
in
wants polishing
Jill's
his
heart of
armor.
hearts, she's sort of like, she just is almost putting this conversation off. But when Callista puts her on the spot, she's like, when I was first starting off bounty hunting years and years ago, I was on my own for the first time. I had left my mentor and I didn't really know what I was doing. And I mean, I did the job, don't get me wrong, but I didn't really do my homework like I should have, and all I had about this guy was a description and what he had done to deserve a visit from me, and I killed him and I didn't think twice about it. And it was only after the fact that I realized he was a very important man. He was a noble from Erebor. And I only realized when I tried to sell all of his shit and nobody would buy it from me. They all knew. And I don't know who they told or if somebody made them talk about me. All I know is they all know my face and they know the items I had and they know where I got them, and that was in Erebor. And I left and I never went back and I never planned on going back. So if we could really hurry through Erebor, that would be great.
How long ago was this? Years?
Must be about 5 years-ish.
3 years, I believe.
3 years.
Well,
my God, you're amazing.
perhaps
3 years.
what we could do is have you wear the hat of disguise while we are in Erebor
That's a great idea.
to add an extra layer.
Good idea. That'd be fine.
But yes, I think moving quickly would be wise.
Yeah. I
If we can get the others to do that without, telling their whole story, I think that is fine. I do not think they need to know if you do not.
They
want to
aren't
tell
in
them.
they aren't in any danger if you're not with me. If you're with
Well.
somebody else, that would be fine. But yeah, people know me there, and not in a good way.
Well, we are with you, Jill. Make no mistake about that. We are not going to abandon you to some fate. If they find out who you are and we are there, we will. We are not going to leave.
Jill doesn't really say anything. She kind of doesn't know how to take that kindness, and just sort of nods and offers Callista the bottle of whiskey again.
I take it and take a big swig.
All right.
Katya nudges my arm and I do not give it to her. She wants to know what's up with this bottle. It seems so
It's
interesting.
great.
On that note, so the rest of the night passes. No one else overhears any of that conversation. And you will get back on the road in the morning, heading in towards Silverton, which you will reach within several hours. So it's still pretty much like late morning at this point in time as you're getting into the city proper. So the city itself is located kind of at the foot of the mountains, which you would be able to see even from here that they rear up in the distance, just an unbroken line of jagged peaks that cuts across the landscape. But Silverton is, a couple of days' ride out from being in the mountains itself. And it's a bustling enough city, but it is small as cities go, and seems to be mostly populated by humans who are interested in minding their own business. A lot of people here are selling things like animal pelts that might come from mountainous creatures or from the woods back in the dales. Does anybody have knowledge local?
I have it. I'm not
I do.
good at it.
Have it, but not here necessarily.
I'm good at picking up rumors.
12.
Ooh, I got a 25.
Ooh, that'll do it.
Okay.
I listen.
You do listen. So you are aware of there's nothing about this town in particular that would cause you to have concerns, I suppose. It's not known like some of the other places you've been, like when you guys went to Hillspar and it was like the military presence and things like that. There's nothing that really stands out to you as being troublesome for you guys to move through this city. So it might be a good last stop if there's any supplies you want to pick up before you head into this mountain trek that is bound to be more difficult. And it's up to you all whether you're intending to stay in the city at like an inn that night, or if you'd prefer to keep camp outside of the city itself.
As Jill takes the last sip of her whiskey and like notices that the bottle is empty, I'm like, I wouldn't mind staying at an inn.
I really, really need a bath.
I've got no problem staying in an inn.
I wish to buy more arrows.
I was actually wondering, do you think that we might be able to find a shop that has some special herbs that have certain magical properties? I'm running a little low.
The stash is running low.
And
I
Merrick
wouldn't
needs a
mind
new
stopping
axe.
in a couple shops.
Eric's gonna go shopping for
around
an
this
axe.
town.
All right, so you guys take advantage of the fact that you feel like this is a safe enough city in order to travel about and get some business done. So are you planning to do that in groups, pairs, split up?
I'll go
Just
with
kind
Merrick.
of a general sweep.
I'd
So-
probably
Beyond.
go with, maybe
Okay,
the
so
boys can all go.
stay in small groups at least. Nobody's on their own. Okay.
Sounds good.
So in that case, then Merrick can go and easily find a new axe. And then Jill, is there anything you are shopping for while you're here?
No, I mean, honestly, no. Like, I want a
Okay.
good bath, and that's it.
You guys can
And
keep on a
more
lookout
whiskey.
for an inn. What type of inn? Like, are you looking for like a money saving inn, a nice inn, or somewhere in the middle?
Middle.
Okay, so middle.
Has to have a bath. That's what.
Yeah.
Bathhouse,
Hot
no
baths.
bed bugs.
Hot baths.
You would know with your knowledge local check of a place called the Broken Axe that you had stayed at once before. Like you remember this
Kidding.
place?
I nudge Merrick when I see the sign for the broken axe. I'm like, it's perfect.
We should find somewhere else.
Oh, it's perfect. And I slap him on the chest. I'm like, it's destiny. And I go in.
So you guys would head in. The inn, it's a single-story timber brick building. It's got a smooth stone floor. The accommodations here, they're nice enough. It's more like cots, but they keep nice hearths in the rooms. And the meals here were good. You remember getting a good meal, and that they do have baths available. The innkeeper is still the same as the last time you were here, which is a short female dwarf whose name is Modga.
Modica.
And Modiga is she's always telling like ghost stories. This is kind of her thing, and so lots of people gather around to hear her talk about how she's haunted by the ghost of someone she killed that she broke her axe on, and why it's called the broken axe. So you've heard those stories from her before, and
she's
are kind
telling
of
this
delighted to see her back still
As
here.
she's telling this one and I'm just drinking, I kind of nudge Merrick. I'm like, this is a really good one. You should listen.
I'm
There,
listening,
can
and
I
he's
make any
clearly
type
not.
of insight check to see if there's any sort of fey element to those stories?
Yeah, I would let that be a knowledge arcana check.
Okay. Natural.
Or nature. Either way, it's a natural 20.
So 28 total.
There are things about that kind of strike you as such, especially when she talks about going into like the mysterious forest, like where this happened, and there's small mentions of things that pop out to you, specifically in your experiences, and maybe things you've read since that yes do have sort of a fey element to them.
So Leith, hearing that and kind of putting two and two together, will kind of take a stroll outside and just sort of wander around until he finds like an oak tree and maybe like an acorn laying on the ground, and just kind of pick it up and hold it in his hand, hold the knuckle bone of Fickle Fortune in the other hand, and just kind of sit against the tree quietly, and then put both back in the little pouch he carries the knuckle bone in.
Oh,
Spend the evening contemplating.
Acorn, no.
Acorn, rest in peace.
Nervous.
Thought he was going to be rolling that knuckle bone.
Me too. God, why did
He's
you?
not stupid anymore. He got smart because of stuff.
All right, Seamus can
'Cause of
easily
stuff.
find some supplies, some smoke, whatever he's looking for while he's out on the
Herbage.
town. Who else needed some shopping stuff they wanted to get?
Need arrows.
You need your clothes. Your clothes are available. Arrows, basic arrows are available. So you guys can just pick those up. We're not going to spend a lot of time on all of those things. Just
If
so we
there's
can
like
figure
a
out.
jewelry shop, I would try and see what I could get for that bag of gems that we liberated from Mirabetta's manor. way
Did
back.
somebody appraise that when you guys got that?
No, but I would have used Identify on it while we were traveling and had spells to burn.
Okay, I'm
that's
trying to
gonna-
see if I have notes on how pricey the gems were. Do, do,
It was a
do.
big bundle, like just huge bag of gems.
So
Enormous.
Every week.
9, 10, 11, 12. You can get
Bag of them.
800 gold.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
going to
All
the party
right.
fund, right, Leith?
I would have
you
wanted
going-
to take a few of those to try and bejewel one of the
You can have it.
cool. Oh yeah, he wouldn't steal it. He would ask for it.
And Leith would easily give it to you.
Excellent.
While you are out and about shopping, Leith, who went with you on your shopping trip?
Beyonce did.
I was gonna go with Beyonce, yeah.
Okay, can I have the two of you make perception checks?
With my one eye. Ooh, 23.
That's a 36.
36.
Nope,
That's better.
26. I can do math. I promise.
Okay. And what did you get? One eye over there.
23.
Hey, Cyclops, hey.
Cyclops.
Those are
Cyclope.
still good enough. Both of you would catch sight of something as you were out and about. There is a figure who is wearing looks like more like roguish leather, the way that it's kind of like easy to move in, despite the fact that there's like a black cloak wrap around her waist, and she has a red scarf that is tied around most of her face so that you can't see it. Her hair is up in like a top knot, and you see her talking to some of the locals outside of a store. And what draws your attention about this person is her skin. You saw skin like this before with the Shadowvar that you encountered back in Mithranor, that strange ashen look. It's not like a dark elf kind of darkness. It's almost like somebody's been bleached of color in a way, and immediately both of you take note of this person.
Does it, are they like, the way she's talking, does she look like she's like looking for somebody?
She looks like she's asking questions.
Oh God! Oh God!
Yeah, it's that, gonna like, if we're outside, I'm gonna be like, go in.
Does she seem to be following us?
So are you going in with Beyonce, where he
Yeah.
gestures to you? You just noticed her.
Okay.
Okay. You go in and then keep a watch on the door, and you do not see this person come in at all.
Who do you
We want to know what she's up to, because there's ways we could find out information.
Oh, of course, but I don't really want to make our position known.
I mean, I could do it invisibly.
Well, that would be lovely, yes.
So,
I will give you guidance. I will give him a boop.
All right.
get my guidance card out here.
Going invisible, mister?
Yeah, I'll keep, like, if there's a window we can watch, when she separates herself from whoever she's talking to, I will use my fleeting glance spell-like ability to turn invisible and sneak up on her. And first I would like to cast...
Hold on. As
Touch of
she peels off from this person, she heads down immediately into an alley. So if you're going to follow, you have to cut around to look in the alley.
Okay. I can do that.
Is there
And
like
I'll kind of wave
window?
Beyonce over before I turn invisible so that he's following at a distance.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Gonna do my best to tail them and be quiet.
Do I see anything down the alley?
Can you make a stealth check for me with your visibility plus?
That's going to be a 20 plus 20 because of invisibility, so 40.
Okay. So very, very sneaky. Cut down the alley and make a perception check.
19?
You see just a flash of like dark wafting cloth, like what she was wearing around her waist, far down the alley as she's taking a few steps like into the shadows. And as she steps into the shadows, you literally see her just like vanish.
Leith is going to back out of the alley and
You?
go to Beyonce and say, we should find the rest of the group. Let them know that the Shadowvar are here.
Did we see who like all went off together and everything?
Yeah, and you all knew you were meeting back up at the Broken Axe.
And you're sure that she's gone? That she isn't following us anymore?
I think she's probably still around somewhere, but not any
suppose she
place
went
that I
to-
could track her.
Do you suppose
The-
she went to the Shadowfell?
I think it's probably more like what we saw that guy doing back in Mithranor, where he stepped into the shadows and came out someplace else. Kind of like I can do with
That's a
trees now.
suit. Yes, that's quite the trick.
Yeah, I kind of figured that one out by accident. I leaned up against a tree, and all of a sudden I came out like 300 feet in the other direction.
He's a tricky son of a gun.
Yes, that must be very confusing. That like Tira kind of gives me the rundown when I have new stuff, but
It's just, I don't know. There's a lot of Fae things going on lately, and I'm a little nervous.
yeah, you've had a little bit of a rough go, haven't you?
Before we went into Mithranor, there are a couple of fairies that came to visit me and kind of told me it was time to head home. And I told them I wasn't ready yet, and they left in various means.
So this is the one that you blew up with the die.
You wouldn't know about that. Did I
Yeah,
tell
you
that?
told us.
Yes,
Oh.
you did.
You
told us.
Callista did.
One of them.
One of them. Quote
One of them blew themselves up. I just created the opportunity for it to happen. And the
Yes.
other one left. But,
You are being careful with that thing, correct? You're not
I
just
haven't
gonna bust it out
touched it
willy-nilly?
since. No, I'm not, like, leaving it laying around for a kid to find or nothing. But,
Good. Well, good. Very good. Or
Like-
Katya.
I don't know. Where we're going, is there a lot of Fey activity there? Because I really don't want to go back to being a prince. I've never done it. And, like, I kind of like what we're doing, trying to help people and save the world and stuff. And I don't know, living in the trees just sounds boring.
No.
Plus, there's that twin guy, and who knows what he's going to do.
Yes, I'm not so fond of that. But I do understand what you mean. I have quite a bit of... I am at the mercy of what my temple tells me to do.
Do you ever get the feeling that somebody always knows where you are, even if you don't want them to?
It is a sacrifice that I have to make for my chosen path.
I don't know that I want to make that sacrifice. No one asked me if I wanted to. Well, I guess they did, and I sort of agreed to it in order to help out the people at Blackfeather Bridge, but I didn't think they were serious.
That was a while ago.
Yes, that's right.
A while.
What are these consequences to my actions?
Well, I didn't know that this wore on you so much.
I mean, we've been kind of busy. I haven't
Yes.
had a lot of time to think about it, but it's been quiet the past couple of days, and I don't know.
I've had
My
some
brain's
time
not
to think.
empty. Some stuff rattles around in there from time to time.
I don't. No, I wouldn't. I don't know very many things either, but I never thought you stupid.
Make perception checks as the two of you are having this conversation.
Natural 20.
Talk
25?
about our feelings.
Are you walking or are you staying off to the side having this conversation?
I thought we were walking back towards where we were going to meet up with people.
Okay, what did you get?
25?
24 with a natural 20.
A natural 20? Okay.
Mhm.
You will notice that now you seem to be being followed at a distance by what looked like the guy that lady was talking to. You would see him back in the crowd, and he'll like go a little ways and then pretend to be shopping, and then he's like following after you.
Drat.
What?
We have problems. We're being followed by one of the people that lady was talking to.
You want me to stop him?
Do we want to cause a scene here? I think we want to keep our head low.
Let's, maybe veer down an alley of our own. See if he comes around the corner, and then we can have a conversation.
I like your style. Take him head on.
Okay.
Veer off.
So you guys will veer off, like ostensibly, I'm assuming, so that he will follow you. And then once you get in the alley, are you doing anything while you're waiting?
Probably hide around a corner, like in
Stealth check?
I will ready a hold person spell.
Okay.
And I'm going to like not have I'm gonna take out Justifier, but I'm gonna like be kind of leaning on it
Okay.
and looking as intimidating as possible.
Well, eventually the man does walk around the corner, and you can immediately cast your spell. So he gets a, let's see, 16? Is that enough?
That will not be enough.
All right. So he will freeze instantly as your magic paralyzes him in place. You can see him up a little closer. He seems to be like a middle-aged guy with cropped, curled blonde hair and kind of grayish eyes. Muscular-looking guy. And he has a square face and with a little spotty beard, patchy kind of thing going on. And he will freeze, looking surprised.
And Leith is holding out his fist, just keeping it locked in place, and he'll walk slowly towards him and say, "We want to know why you're following us. And before you can talk, I'd have you know, we're fairly important people. We think that what you're doing, maybe you're led astray by somebody else, but we'd like to know why you're following us. Be honest, because we'll know if you're lying.
Make an
And I will-
intimidate check.
And I am going to cast Zone of Truth under him.
Right. What is the DC on that?
My DC. Let me look at my extensible spell list. Zone of Truth, I believe, is
Second level.
Second
Yep.
level. So that would be, I believe, a 17.
Okay. So you will cast the spell, weaving a magical area in which nobody can utter a deliberate falsehood. And then what was your intimidate, Leith?
It was a 22.
Okay. Impressive for a
Good at
little
this.
gnome.
I mean,
Okay.
he's got, magical fae-ness.
And then are you releasing him?
I would like to first place a hand squarely on his chest, so I'm probably reaching up in order to do so.
Yep.
And I will cast Touch of Idiocy.
Jesus. Hey, overkill.
What? Come again?
What?
Really want to use that today.
Stupid and
So
scared.
he takes a -6 penalty to his intelligence, wisdom, and charisma scores.
Yep. You can make it automatically because he can't move. so-
Right.
Okay.
And then I will release him and cast Suggestion at the same time. Now tell us everything.
All right.
Also, Beyonce will not running, but he will very intentionally go to where he ran back.
What's the DC on your suggestion spell?
The
You guys are a
DC
terrifying
on
pair.
Suggestion, 'cause that's a level 3, but it's enchantment and compulsion, is a DC 20.
DC 20. Okay. So immediately, he seems almost out of breath. She said she got a lot of money from the prince if we could give word on where he was going. That was all.
Did she say which prince?
She just said some princess. I don't know. She flashed a lot of money in my direction. Looked like somebody who'd worked for a prince.
Did she tell you where to meet her?
She did. She said I need to leave word with someone and then they will contact her.
And who was that someone?
I'm supposed to bring a note and leave it at the axle cross up front north by the gate. He seems to be having a
Nice
hard
touch of
time
idiocy, Leith.
thinking
Great.
That's it. You're doing
He
fine.
didn't lose
Keep going.
power of speech unless he was already incredibly.
he can't
He
freaking
was
remember 'cause
already
he's
pretty
stupid
dumb,
now,
okay?
Leith.
And now he lost a lot in the touch of idiocy. I rolled a 4.
Now, what happens if you never report it?
Oh, it wasn't something I said I had to do. It was just for a lot of money.
How much did they offer you?
She said it could be thousands of gold. Can you imagine that? Thousands of gold. What was I supposed to do? Say no?
Yes, but I think it's
Do I
much
look like
more.
somebody who can say no to thousands of gold just for staying with two gents like you are?
This is turning into a Monty Python bit.
Right?
All I want is a room somewhere.
You be nice to him. You did a lot of damage to his brain.
Not permanent, but for a while.
But you're gonna forget about this, right?
Oh, I can forget about it. I can forget about it, no problem. Mistakes were made.
Really.
Good, because I have ways to watch you.
Fine, but I didn't mean to get in the middle of nothing. She just seemed convincing, that's all.
Did she say when she was going to be looking for your note?
Now she just said if I saw anything, people in your description, and I mean with he points to like the eye patch, and it's like you're very short, sir. It seems
have you know I'm
like
quite
that
tall
was
for a
the
gnome.
one. All right, I believe it.
And Leith is gonna just kind of reach towards his belt where the wand of reduced person is,
No, I was lying. I don't believe it.
and just kind of drum his fingers across it. And I'm gonna make a roll for this to see how impulsive I'm feeling today.
Oh,
are you
Leith,
doing?
No, Brad.
He thinks
Okay.
better of it and doesn't shrink this guy.
Thank you.
Good.
We've already caused.
He's having a really
enough
bad
trauma.
day.
Yeah.
It's not his fault. You're so
I
mean
thought
to him.
this was just Rowan's day, you know? I was gonna make a little money. That was it. I was just in it for the gold.
I'm not saying that I blame you. I'm saying that you better forget.
I forgot already, sir.
Excellent.
Can I go now?
I see no reason why not.
One last thing.
Right.
I suggest you go home and stay quiet for a couple of days.
That's I can do that.
And I'll
I
cast
promise.
suggestion again.
Oh my god. I got a
man.
14.
We are fucking
That
with
is
this
not a
guy.
20.
That's a great plan. In fact, I'm going straight there now, and this is the last time I'm gonna say for days.
Last thing I'm
Turns around and just starts walking.
Pleasure doing business with you.
He becomes an elective mute and never talks again.
That happened.
We are rather imposing, aren't we?
When we want to be.
When we want to be.
I think we should maybe take advantage of the information this fella gave us.
I
Talk to
agree.
our friends and perhaps set a trap with a note of our own.
We could be preemptive. I think it's time. I think it's time to meet.
Let's go back to the inn, find our friends.
I'll have to get my essential oils later.
All right, moving things along. Let's say that you guys have returned and filled everyone in. I assume you're going to tell them everything. Is there anything
Oh,
you're
yeah.
leaving out?
There's nothing worth leaving out. That would be
Okay,
dangerous.
so they have now told the rest of you all of this, and you are gathered in one of the private rooms that you've taken at the Broken Axe.
What if we
Okay.
left a note saying that people matching our description had set themselves up in a cottage outside the city? And maybe set ourselves a trap around that cottage.
Which isn't technically a lie because we have your cottage.
Right, that's what I was implying.
Yes.
I'd make another cottage.
Would not matter if
I give a dirty look to Beyonce. Why does it matter if we lie?
I
Some of
to
us have
agree with Jill on
morals.
Jill is secretly a little hurt.
that. I see a problem with that plan, though. Your friend could not actually tell you where he was supposed to leave the note.
Did we get like enough out of him to?
He told you something, whether that's an actual place or that's what it's actually
Broken
called.
Axle? Is that what it was? The
That
Axle?
yeah, Axel.
We're called the
something.
Broken
It was
Axe.
the broken axe. What if it's where we're frickin' staying?
Kind of what it sounded like, but
Yep.
Sounded like, from what you described, very accurately.
You guys are on the north side of town.
What if one of us puts on the hat of disguise? Probably Beyonce. Because he's seen the fella. Makes himself look like him. Leaves a note describing where we're staying. Or where we say we're going to be staying. And we set our trap.
I'm going to just go ahead and say that I am really bad at lying. I don't like to do it.
All
I
you have
think-
to do is deliver a note. Telling them exactly where we're going to be.
I'm better at lying than Beyonce, as we've established. And I look at Beyonce, I give him a dirty look.
Right, but you didn't see the fella.
Look like, just tell me. It doesn't matter who the message comes from.
Merrick speaks up and he says, "So what's the plan to try to lure this one agent?"
yeah,
Out.
what information was this person supposed to relay? Where we are going?
our whereabouts and where we're going.
If they know where we are, they know where the seed is.
It seems to me that the one agent would not likely try to take us. I think we would find ourselves beset by an army of Shadowfar.
But if they know where we are and
they
know how to send a message like Beyonce does, we might find ourselves facing an army of Shadowvar as we try to keep heading towards Waterdeep.
Which is why I think perhaps if we are to leave a note, we tell them we are going somewhere else instead of trying to catch them somewhere.
Now the direction. Send them out into the desert like we decided not to.
It's not a bad idea.
Give them a different destination. Say that we are taking what was one of the other options that we were going to do with the seed. Tell them that is our plan. That is where we are going.
Take it back to Shadowdale, but we already passed there.
Right, so that does not work.
But there are other things. Perhaps we could say that we were taking it to the Harpers.
What? I look at Merrick with concern, and I'm like, we don't want to send them to the Harpers.
Well,
A whole army?
that's
I
true.
really don't feel great about, sending an army of Shadowvar on
So
unsuspecting
then we
people.
tell them we're taking the path to the desert. It's the worst that's going to happen to anyone in the desert.
They'll get really thirsty. Maybe they'll
But-
die.
Could we?
They're quite pasty. They might get sunburned.
But would it be feasible, plausible that we would be taking that path from here? We are already here.
If perhaps we had found cause to think it was not safe to travel the way that we did,
All
then
right.
we needed to.
See that?
We could take the north path through the Stormhorns even from here.
From here,
There's a path through here that we could take to take us into the desert. If we go beyond this town at this point, it would stop being a feasible plan. But from here, it is realistic. We might be able to sell it.
I'm good with that plan.
I wonder if we should still not say that our ultimate destination is Waterdeep, though, because if they decide to try to catch us at
Maybe
the end.
whoever overheard didn't hear exactly where we were going, just what our route was.
All right. I
Might
could
just
buy
be
that.
one out of a wide net of agents that are out looking for us. Are we sure we don't want to just try and trap the agent and get rid of him?
I just don't think. I think if
There's-
we use a note, I do not think it will be just the agent. I think they will send all of their forces to bear if they think they can capture us.
And Brennus can snap to a location like that. We saw him do it.
The other thing I want to bring up is after we say this, we should probably skip town.
I agree.
Staying in the
For a
inn.
bath.
And I
Good
just
Lord,
kind of
I
like,
need to. Can I get like a wet rag at least, like something with a little
Well-
lavender on it?
We
can
could even
use
stay here. We do
prestidigitation
not
to
have to
clean you
leave
up.
the note now.
we don't leave it now. Let's leave it tomorrow after brunch.
It's true. If she doesn't know, she didn't talk to him after they came across
She didn't see you
did
two,
they?
right?
But who's to say that there aren't more of them who they have sent out, and then they could just be sitting in the tavern right next to us.
Well, then we can take two people to a room, and then one person keeps watch, and one of us gets a good night's sleep on a nice feather mattress.
Well, and remember, we can identify their agents fairly easily. They have that odd, pigmentless skin.
And that this is true. We could spot their agents, but what about if there's someone like this man that we were talking to?
Yes,
I think
There are
whoever's
plenty of-
keeping watch should probably wear the hat of disguise.
agree with that.
That's wise. All right, well,
Go straight to our rooms.
let's get some sleep.
I ask frickin' Modica if I can get a hot bath in my room, please.
Oh, Sam.
Modica, can I get a
Sam.
basin, please, in my room? I'm in
Oh,
desperate need of a
it's
bath.
going to cost a bit more to have it brought up, but all right.
I would like that as well.
That depends on how quickly you'd like it brought up.
Anytime in the next couple of hours.
She seems
would
to be
phenomenal.
angling for a tip of some kind.
Yeah, I know she's a frickin' dwarf and dwarves are greedy, so I like flicker an extra, like maybe, I don't know.
Wow, racism.
Yeah.
A platinum piece. I flicker a
Holy
platinum.
crap! Oh, that'll be right there!
5 minutes later.
Yes,
you're
Jet.
back.
I will also, while we're meeting up with everyone, hand everybody 160 gold.
Nice.
Oh, well,
Ooh,
excellent.
Thank you.
Everybody in our
Thanks.
group, not Merrick.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Share
No.
with Phil.
No.
Wow.
No.
You can share.
That's just an
Wow.
us
And-
thing.
Damn.
And
He
Beyonce
wasn't
is
there
gonna
when we
walk
took
up.
it.
He has no need for frickin' physical possessions.
The
Anyway,
bath
Buy an
He's
axe.
always-
Right, because he didn't just buy a shiny new axe.
Yeah.
Beyonce is gonna walk up after Jill just bought the bath, and he is going to give a platinum and an extra gold for it to come up to him first.
All right. Well, it goes to you first. But
Do I
there's
see
actually,
him do this?
There's more than one basin, but
Do
it
I
still
see
gets
him
you
do-
a little. No, this is not when you're around because you're getting ready for your bath.
I am naked, waiting.
Can I, what are the sleeping arrangements?
Well, if you guys are throwing platinums around, you guys can all have your own room if you want, honestly.
Oh, all
But
right.
if you'd rather share, you can share.
It's just that Jill and I used to share, but I do not
I
think that is an
presume
option
she's
anymore.
sharing with someone else.
I am
Yep.
sharing with someone else. Sorry,
Yep.
Callista. We can have girl night on the
Callista
road
back to
sometime.
cuddling with her cat.
We'll tell secrets and paint each other's nails, and it'll be fun. On the road, some other time.
All right. So keeping watch through the night, nothing unusual happens. You don't see any shady people like creeping around your rooms or anything like that. So that seems safe enough. The night passes and it's the morning. Are you leaving a note? And what does the note say?
So it sounded like the intelligence level of this man is probably.
He was rambling a lot.
Do you think?
I might have had something to do with that.
Oh, did you do that? He
It's
seemed
just
like he was
easier to
really missing something upstairs.
I just wanted to make sure that he took my suggestions to heart. So
I-
I think, simple words, 2, 3 syllables at most, complete sentences, but probably no punctuation.
Can I make a bluff check to write the note?
Oh, okay, I was
Who are you writing the note?
I was
It would be
looking
a-
to, but she can.
It will be a craft check or I'll allow linguistics check.
Oh, well, then I don't want to
Either
write the
craft
note.
writing or linguistics.
Oh, Kitty.
I thought maybe I could make a bluff.
do
to write
have-
dumb.
Either way, it's int based. So
I do have linguistics. It's not very high, but I do have it.
you could think about how it works right in like small words.
Monosyllabic, like very, very C-spot run.
Craft linguistics is trained only, right? Like you have to have a rank in it,
Craft writing. It would just be an intelligence check.
or not craft. I'm sorry, but a linguistic. Oh, okay. So who's doing it?
I
It's
don't-
rolling.
But I
I'm not
probably won't roll super high, but
Okay.
I've got the skills.
Go
needed.
ahead. Yeah, linguistics is trained only.
A rank.
And I mean, if we're trying to make this note look like it was written by an idiot, we can do that as well. Any specific details, like if we're going through the desert, they bought a lot of water skins or something like that.
Yeah, I saw them buying. Yeah, I saw them buying water skins and overheard them talking about preparing for a desert journey.
Sunscreen.
All right, natural 19 for a total of 21.
It is very
Yay.
convincing. You create a very convincing, idiotic sounding note
There's
that
a
conveys
couple
the
words that
information
are-
clearly.
Purposely misspelled. There's a
Yep.
spot where I scratched it out and rewrote a word differently, and
One of the letters is backwards.
And
Yeah.
where are you delivering the note to?
Uses the wrong type of there, and there.
Oh, many times.
there's an it's with an apostrophe that's not supposed to have one.
At
Deliver
least
it to
one
Monica.
dangling participle too. Gotta have that.
Oh,
Did
oof.
he?
Callista, can I borrow
Of
the
all
hat?
sins.
Yes, I hand the floppy hat over.
I'll put the hat on, I'll make myself look like him, and I'll go up to the counter. I'll like climb out the window of my room and circle around and come in through the front door.
Okay.
Or just dimension door out, whatever's easiest.
Okay.
And I'll just walk up and kind of wink at the innkeeper. I was told to deliver this.
Make a bluff check.
It's a 15 plus 13 for 28.
Oh, damn.
And she squints at you and she says, Rowan,
Yep, that's my name.
is it now?
Yes.
And she leans across the bar at you. Her big forearms on the counter. And she says, I'd know Rowan Chaucer anywhere, boy. And that's not him.
No.
I'm gonna cast Memory Lapse on her.
Oh, will save.
Yes.
She got an 18.
That is not gonna be enough.
All right.
Yes.
She needed a
Presume
19.
you're making her forget having seen you.
She just forgets to the beginning of that round, so I get to remake the bluff check.
Oh, God.
Okay.
A 23 didn't get it, Brad.
She got a nat 20 on that sense motive, so.
Oh.
Oh, shit.
I got a
She
natural
might do better this
19
time.
on this second bluff check.
Okay,
For
what's
a
that
total
total
of-
to?
32.
All right, what do you say this time? Knowing that she knows this man well.
I mean, she forgot the whole last interaction, so I'm just gonna try
Yep.
the same thing.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna wink at her and slide it across the table and start walking back towards the
Okay.
door.
All right. She's half distracted, so she just takes it. And that's it. Doesn't ask anything, doesn't stop you. All right. Okay, so I assume with that, you guys are heading off.
Oh, yes.
Like it is time to go.
All right. So with that, you can take your leave from the city. You see no other signs of anybody who sticks out to you like the Shadow Bar did. And you have a 2-day ride ahead of you along the Moonsea ride that will take you to the base of the mountains up ahead, the storm horns. On those 2 days, any travel things that I should be aware of?
Can I do a thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
At a certain point, I want to kind of go up to Callista and Jill and say, Jillaris, Callista, would you mind joining me tomorrow morning for some light training?
Kind of look nervously at Callista.
Training? Training in
Training.
what?
Combat.
I kind of like almost give Seamus like a look of like that's so cute. And I look at Callista and I'm like, of course, I'll be there for training, Seamus. What time?
Dawn.
I look at Callista. I'm like, dawn.
I just look really confused but nod. All right.
And as soon as Seamus walks away, I lean to Callista. I'm like, I think we should kick his ass to send a message.
I mean, I tend to kick ass better from a distance.
Yeah, well, not me.
All right. Well, at dawn,
Dawn.
the two of you roll out of bed, I presume. Or
Yeah.
bed, from the cottage.
I pat Merrick on the chest and I'm like, I'll be back when I kill Seamus.
All right, have fun.
Katya
Okay.
comes out with me because she is interested.
So the two of them will go out and find you wherever you are, Seamus.
Okay. So I start to guide you into the forest, and I say, "Come, yes, join me. And I want you all to look around." And I like go and pull 2 leaves off of the nearest tree branches, and I say, "I want you to tell me, can you see the leaves in the forest?"
The specific leaves you are holding, or all of the leaves in the forest?
All of the leaves in the forest.
Yes.
Well,
All
I
of
can
them.
see the ones that are within my range of sight.
Very good. You're opening your mind. And then I kind of like go out and I walk away. Seamus walks about 30 feet away. And
I look at Callista confused.
I thought this was combat training.
And
That's what
then
he said.
you see Seamus kind of pull a blindfold out from behind his robes, and he kind of wraps it around, blindfolds himself, and he holds up 2 leaves. "Now, each of you, draw your bows and fire the leaf from my hand."
I kind of like shrug at Callista and I take out my bow. I can do it.
I...
You want
Seamus,
to
how
put
is
some
this
gold on
combat
it,
training?
Callista?
People do not hold leaves at us in combat.
Callista, you want to put some gold on it?
Are you serious?
Yeah. Why not? We just got a bunch from Leith.
All right. I still do not understand what this has to do with, but I suppose
I take an arrow out and I go 50 gold.
That what? That I can hit. You can hit it closer to the center
That
of the
I
leaf
hit
than
it and
me?
you fucking don't. I hit it and you don't. You're not even gonna hit it.
All right. Sure. I'm Callista's laughing. Go for it.
Okay.
And Seamus just holds the leaves in anticipation.
I got a 24 to hit.
Are you holding them like? Is it just flat in your hand, Seamus?
That
Hold
seems
them
like a
up like
terrible plan.
targets.
Or are you
He's
holding them up?
They're up like targets, but they are very small. Each
Okay,
leaf
so
very
it's
small.
very, very small.
Mhm.
That will not be enough then to hit the leaf.
And you're how far away from us, Seamus?
30.
Okay.
I assume, are you guys using precise shot to not hit him? You guys both have precise shot?
I do.
Do not have precise.
Okay, so then it nicks his hand instead. So in the future, you can take a -4 to be careful to aim to not hit his hand if you want, but otherwise you will hit him if you fail, since you don't have precise shot. I mean, it's
Sorry,
hard. He's just
Seamus.
aiming at his hand.
Seamus acts as though he did not feel any pain, but is inside screaming secretly. Still holding the other leaf up.
What did Callista get?
Can I name? No, never mind.
No, that leaf is my
Can I
enemy.
name the leaf my enemy?
Or an enemy.
The
Seamus.
oath
Oh, a
book.
lot more accurate.
I swear to kill that leaf.
Well, I didn't really need it anyway. 36.
Seamus,
Roll
is
for
that
two,
enough
team.
to get this leaf out of your hands?
Mm-mm.
No?
Nope.
So instead, what it does is it goes through a hole in the leaf, but the leaf does not move.
So
Shit.
It's almost too precise, Callista. Almost.
Almost too
Well, it is. It's almost like too technically perfect.
Yeah.
But the idea was to like knock it out of his hand.
Doesn't
But she
touch.
like, yeah, that's the problem. Is it just goes like through there, but it doesn't have the gusto needed to blow it out of his hand.
Oh, see, I
Sorry,
thought we were just
Seamus.
switching it.
So Seamus just kind of like lowers his arms and he walks up to them both and he says, as we approach the field of battle, I want the two of you to set an intention. And that is for you, Callista. I want you to consider not what is only in here. And he kind of points at your head. And he says, but also what is here. And he points like towards your chest, at your heart. And then he turns to Jill and he says, and Jalaris, I want you to work a little less from here. And he points to your heart. And he points up to your head and says, and also work from here. And then he kind of like looks at, like takes a beat and looks at the two of them and says, I think there is much you could teach each other so that you can focus yourself in the field. Now, we train. And then training montage ensues.
Oh, yeah!
I love it.
Aww.
Amazing. Good
Cool,
job,
man.
Chuck.
Cool.
I like it.
Love it.
Okay, I am, yeah. Until the very last minute, Jill is like shooting kind of confused looks at Callista, and then.
How do the two of you react to that lesson? Is that
I kind of shrug and I look at Callista, and I'm like, we train?
Callista just kind of there's something kind of indefinable sadness behind her eyes that like yeah. And I just kind of say to Seamus, yes, I am sure there is much I can learn from Jill.
Very good.
All right. Why don't we just do a general roll from each one of you for the training montage for like how you did through the rest of it? So just make make a general attack
Just a
roll.
straight D20. I got a 14.
Okay.
Wait,
No, you
I
can add
assume-
your BAB and Dex mod for these.
Okay.
So we're working
BAB.
with range attacks.
Yeah,
so I
BAB
like
for
an
me
arrow.
then. So mine is a 25 then.
Okay.
I'm assuming I'm teaching Callista hand to hand, and she's teaching me how to shoot a bow better.
28
Probably.
for me.
Okay. So for both of you, trying to apply the concept that Seamus is talking about is not something that comes easily to either one of you. So there is some awkwardness and some struggle to like even like, what is he even talking about? Like, what does it mean to fight from my heart? What does it mean to fight from my head? And perhaps the awkwardness of sharing that with each other as well a little bit that stifles either of you from like becoming masters of that immediately. But there's a bonding in that as well, in seeing each other perhaps vulnerably trying something. Unless you don't try, but
Oh.
As the two of you kind of begin to train with yourselves, Seamus will eventually, you'll see, he kind of like goes and sits on his yoga mat and begins to meditate. And he pulls out a pipe, and you see a brand new jar right next to him. And he just lets you go at it.
Amazing.
At one point, I lean over to Jill and I say, I notice that while we work our asses off, Seamus is sitting there having, kind of enjoying himself. I notice he has not offered us any.
Have to.
You're not ready!
I think that's probably only when we reach like full enlightenment or some shit.
wonderful. And eventually everyone else will get up as well so that you can move on with your journey towards the
Awesome.
mountains.
When the rest of us, Merrick and Beyonce and Leith wake up, I'll just kind of look out the window and see them like training and stuff, and just say to Beyonce and Merrick, I really hope Seamus doesn't decide that we need to start getting up early too. I need my beauty rest.
Oh, me too.
Merrick says, I'd love to see him try.
Wake Leith up early.
All right. As As you guys approach the mountains, a conversation that Merrick would bring up about traveling through the storm horns is that as you're traveling through mountainous weather, it's going to take a little bit longer. But also, something to think about and would be, do we want to risk traveling in the open through the potential weather hazards that might await us there, or being spotted? There are tribes here and there of humans and other things in the mountains. Or do we want to risk going through some of the networks of caverns or caves through the mountains, which house their own dangers, but perhaps would keep us out of sight?
Turn to the others and I say, I'd rather talk my way out of a problem.
Last time we went underground, I grew a second head. I really don't want to repeat that.
I'd love sky.
Do you prefer fresh air?
Well, I can see I am outnumbered, so I will.
Though there is wisdom to keeping a low profile. We are wanted, and we know we are being followed in some regard. We may have thrown them off the scent, but it is possible. I'm sure they have agents all over the place. They could.
Jones makes a lot of sense. If somebody's following us, I'd really rather not have them find us. I guess I changed my vote to Callista's side.
Merrick looks at Seamus. What do you think?
I think this is some good stuff.
Seamus, isn't the sky pretty, Seamus? Don't you want to look at it more?
Jolaris has a point there on that one.
Also, didn't you promise me a blunt after all of this?
We'll talk later.
Excellent. Gives him a wink.
So we have two, and he points at Callista and at Leith, who think we should take the caves. One who thinks we should, two who think we should go above ground. Beyonce, what have you settled on?
I'm sorry. I think we should go underground if you think you can lead us through.
I don't know. I'll admit, I haven't traveled them before. We'd be going into something completely unknown.
If we talk, if there's these tribes out there, I can talk to any of them. I speak like 6 languages. I speak Orc, I speak Dwarven, I speak Gnome. I could speak to anything that's out there and bluff the hell out of them. Down there's gonna be wyverns and frickin' who the hell knows what else. And they'll just eat us.
I mean, we're pretty hard to eat.
I am more worried that something gets word back to the Shadowvar.
Or other people.
If we are on the surface, we are more easily spotted.
I can still make the cottage underground if that's what you're worried about. You don't have to go back to sleeping on the floor.
All right. And Merrick looks kind of grudgingly at you, Jill. He says, so.
I shake my head at him.
Through the caves, then?
I guess.
Reluctantly, but I think it would be wise.
Well, let's get a move on. We'll be there within the day. And he just spurs his horse on ahead and starts off towards the shadow of the storm mountains. And that is where we will stop our adventure for this month and this year.
Yeah.
Bye,
I
2020.
outvoted. I am 0 for 2 in the last 2 votes we've taken.
Just keep getting outnumbered.
This is you're the one who said it's a democracy,
Yep.
and
It is
you
a
have been
freaking
outvoted.
democracy. Yeah.
Do we have our January date? Is it 16 or 20?
I know I have it on a calendar somewhere.
We just keeping the third Saturday.
Yeah, we got
I
the
think we actually came
23rd.
up
We
with
got the
one.
23rd on.
23rd?
Yes, ma'am.
January 23rd.
All right, January 23. Come back and check us out. We will be back here. Until then, we hope that you guys have amazing holiday season and not so fun farewell to 2020, which we're all happy to put behind us.
Once again, thank you guys for joining us on your Saturday night, and thank you to our sponsors and all of our friends of the show, Gaming Paper, Character Case, Sirenscape, Isaac, Barb, TJ for all the art, and our audience. We just love you guys so much. So
And
you are
happy
a
holidays,
gift to us.
no matter what you celebrate.
All of
bless
the
Tyr.
holidays.
All of them.
Feels
There's a lot of them.
2021.
Except
Here we
Tyr.
come.
Tyr can just screw right off.
Oh, what a delightful message.
Merry Christmas.
Delightful end.
Say that
As
to
we head
Beyonce
towards
again.
his temple,
See what
way to
happens.
piss off the god, Carrie.
All right, thank you guys.
All right,
We
bye
love
everybody.
you.
See you next month.
Bye.
Bye.